Welcome to Good Earners Reviewing the Sopranos, where we talk about family, finessing, finances, and feelings in the world of Tony Soprano, bringing you a new perspective, a fly perspective, and a black perspective. Spike Lou, Rich, how you brothers doing tonight?
What up, though?
Doing well, brother. Doing well, man. Favorite time of the week. Ready to get into it.
And I really appreciate you brothers being here today. I'm glad that none of y'all was a no-show. Spike Lou, what episode are we reviewing today?
Man, this is season 4, episode 2, titled, as Mo just said, No Show. In this episode, Meadow is still looking to find herself after Jackie's passing. Seems like she's regressing. She wants to go to Europe and get away from her people. Ralphie tells a joke her around the world. Chris is given a new position since Polly is away. Some people not cool with it. Could Seal be feeling underappreciated? And Tony is not pleased with Janice's new dating choices. Also, Adriana learns more about her new friend. This is season 4, episode 2, entitled No Show.
Thank you for that Spike synopsis.
Always fire, bro.
Always fire. The Spike is spicy. All right. We go into our first scene. Agent Danielle, she picks up the phone. Adriana calls her about some spa tickets. And I guess this is pretty much getting them set up for what's coming. She's got the fluffy hair. Adriana's shaving. I don't know if there was much more that we were supposed to get there. I mean, y'all see.
Just continue with the show that they are actually becoming friends. Like, I'm calling you at the crib in the morning. You know you cool with somebody when you're doing random shit around the crib.
Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, let me talk to them and see what we got going on. Like, she's shaving and shit. She's trying to get everything planned. She's a part of her day-to-day life.
I can't wait to get into more of that character because everything I was talking about, it came to life here. So I was like,
this is what we finally get to talk about.
Yes, because I was like, bro, like grid over the grid close, but we'll get there. So I was happy with that. Yeah, I was like, bro, it was like pew. That was it. Like, but we go over to Carmela and Meadow. They're having this conversation. Tony's getting dressed, and this is where I feel like they was like really intentional on the wardrobe here with Meadow.
I was waiting to see how long.
I'm not about to. I'm not. See, because I see y'all be trying to set me up, so I'm start reserving my comments because y'all be out here having me looking crazy. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start reserving.
I knew it. I said Mo ain't gonna be able to resist.
I ain't giving it up crazy this time. I'm just saying I'm about to make a point. I ain't about to give it up because I let the first scene slide with the with the abs out.
I was surprised. I was surprised you didn't say nothing about Adriana.
I would have lost money. I knew you was gonna talk about Danielle and the purple bra.
I did too, and Adriana shaving.
Now that y'all brought it up, now that y'all brought it up,
I knew that you couldn't let Meadow escape though. With this fit on, I knew it wasn't possible. I would have bet my life savings on that.
Y'all are wild. See how they got me out here looking. That's why I can't. I keep it real goes wrong. That is.
You always notice though. That's all I'm saying. You just always notice.
Oh, I'm the only one notice. I'm the only one. Huh? I just the only one. I'll be the first to admit it. That's all. Huh? Oh, okay.
You're really the most. You really the most, Mo.
Brothers like these, man. But no,
man.
But Meadow, the point I was going to make is I think that they're trying to start to give us the idea based on this like opening wardrobe is like how we're supposed to view her at this point.
Yeah.
Like we're supposed to see her now as like she's not a child no more. She's not this high schooler. She's not a freshman in college anymore. She's a young adult that, I mean, she says she's 18, 19, I believe, somewhere down in there.
So she close to 19, 20, yeah.
19, 20. So I think that I just felt like this was like a definitive moment as far as wardrobe goes with her that they wanted us to really, look at her in that way, because I don't think we get many more of these type of shots. So it's very intentional. But what did y'all think about this back and forth between Meadow and Carmela and the aging and the mother's daughter beef that we've seen often in life? And what did y'all think about this?
I kind of feel both sides, man. I get what Carmela is like. Come on, like you were supposed to do this, you did this, you did that. Or you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you said you were going to do this. So I get her as a parent looking at it like, you bullshit. However, it ain't a regular situation, as Meadow is trying to explain to her. Like, she asked her a good question. Have you ever lost somebody your age? Like when you were cool with them or whatever it may be. And I don't know if Carmella answered it or not, but I don't think that she's given enough consideration to Meadow's point of view. I get where she's coming from, but I don't think she's giving Meadow enough consideration.
That's a fact. I was gonna say the same thing. Both of them make very valid points. I get it. Carmella, we bought you a car. You ain't go to this internship. Even as petty as it sounds to go to the TCBY, shout out to TCBY, man. I don't think they're around anymore, but I used to put my spot back in the day.
What's that?
The country's best yogurt.
Spot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's that? Was crazy.
Yeah, and she said I'm leaving in 5 days. There's no point of going up here to get a job, she is right. That's petty as hell.
Right,
but I think Carmella was driving home the point. You haven't done shit.
Mm-hmm.
At least for 5 days, do something. Get out the crib. Go try to make some kind of money. Even if it's a box of pencils that you're buying, like show some kind of responsibility. To your point, we are seeing Meadow in a different light. What comes with that is you were a grown ass woman. Like you can't just be living off of us forever. These are the stages that you need to start coming up with a plan. And Meadow, to her point, this is some real life shit. And here's the thing, and I'm not a parent, but I know from being a child that parents have a responsibility in a sense to give you a little bit more grace because they are the ones leading you, right? Even if they don't understand. Carmella doesn't know what it's like, I'm sure, to lose somebody like that at that age. And I get the frustration, but she does have to ease off a little bit. You know what?
Yeah, she was just like relentless, man. She was just on her like every little thing. If you did AJ like that, maybe he wouldn't be such a little shitbag.
Right. And you see the difference too, man. I think Meadow has much higher, they have much higher expectations from Meadow. And you can see, and I think every parent probably goes through this, or parental figure, when you have your life, you have your kid's life already mapped out in your head for them. Like, nah, they're going to live their life and figure out their own steps. Just because it doesn't go to your plan, it doesn't mean that it's going bad. But I do understand, like, look, you in Ivy League school, now is not the time to be bullshitting. Like, we got you set up. I get it. I get both sides. I get it.
This is great. Y'all both are making excellent points, especially like you said, for y'all both not to be parents, and y'all bodying it straight up.
And Meadow just answering the phone mid-conversation, man.
Mom,
pops.
Dog.
What?
That wouldn't even.
Is you crazy? You better act like you don't even hear that.
You better act like,
man, don't even exist right now.
Right. And a week, because the friend came in, the homegirl came in, she gave her that Craig's mama on Friday. Hi, Smokey. That's how she
exactly. Mrs. Soap. Mrs. Soap.
Yeah.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here, man. We having a real talk, man. Get your bum ass. You part of the reason she on this bullshit. Yeah, man. Get out my house.
Yeah, can step off. But yeah, no, I think y'all both make great points. And I think Carmella's going so hard because Carmella, she has that, what is it? that leaving the nest syndrome thing that mothers go through, but yet she wants Meadow to get out. And I believe this could be a hot take, maybe I'm right or wrong, but I think that Carmella lives vicariously through Meadow.
100%. That's not.
I think she looks at Meadow, like even Meadow said, she was talking about some book, and she was like, well, what is that? Because it's like, she's not that well read. She don't have the same opportunity she feels. And so she sees Meadow, and Meadow has the luxury to, if I want to take a year off, Meadow has the luxury to say, oh, I can get with this guy. I broke up with Jackie Jr. and Noah. I can play out my other options. Carmella doesn't have these things anymore. I think she looks at it. I mean, that's why we get kind of going into the Furio part of it, but it's like, I think that she looks at Meadow and there's this envy about it. And it's a heavy emphasis on her. Like, you got an opportunity, you can go to school. You go. That's what you want to do. That's what you wish you had done. So it's a very interesting thing at how she looks at Meadow. I don't know if Meadow's picking that up at this moment, but
she too young. She hasn't lived long. She hasn't lived enough life. She hasn't had enough experiences. There's just certain things as an old head, as an OG parent, whatever, that you're going to tell to somebody younger, they ain't going to get it. Like, I'm giving you the game. Please try your hardest to digest what I'm telling you. But there's some stuff it's just going to go over the head. And it's going to be them years later when you look back like, oh, damn. Spike talked about it on Another Week in the Books when we talk about Dro Pops. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not at that point. I haven't lived enough to realize what you're saying, because I still have my naivete. I still have my stubbornness, and the world is still fresh to me. Like, you can't tell me what the world is like because I'm still exploring it. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? So it's a little bit of that. And And I agree with everything you said, Mo. She definitely wants to live vicariously, and kind of wants to control Meadow. I think that's a big part of it too. I want you to do what I'm saying because I'm the one saying, you know, if no matter what it is. But everybody can agree to this. When you see potential in someone and they're not reaching it, it's a very frustrating thing to be next to. And this doesn't even have to be parent-child. This can be your friend. Everybody probably got a homeboy, homegirl that you see the potential, like, yo, you bullshit. You could be doing so much more. I get you going through some things, but you kind of, this is life. You know, I sent y'all that Rocky clip this week, man. Life gonna knock you down. You gotta get hit and keep going.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating, I'm sure, for Carmella, because you're everything that I could dream of being, and you tricking it off while I gotta sit here and do this bullshit. Like if you mix my hustle and my passion with your smarts and everything else and your opportunities, like, oh man, you living my life.
Yep. And I think that's the root of Carmella's frustration is you don't appreciate this shit as much as you should. Like you going through the motions, you like, I want to take off a year, I want to do this, do that in the third layout by the pool. Like Carmella's looking at it like Mo said, if I were you, if I were in your position, if I had had these opportunities, then I wouldn't be here. Maybe wouldn't have to be with Tony, which we know she struggles with later. But she just, again, she don't want to see Meadow go down that road. So well said. Well said.
Yeah, Meadow says something. It's like, who's the guy out there with the long hair or whatever? You see, like, even in the midst of like Carmella, yeah, with the anger, she's still kind of like got the eyebrows down, but you still kind of like, let me get it together a little bit. Like that's funny, but I love subtlety like that. That is, you know, oh man,
and that's kind of why she hit the girl with the Smoky Mama off Friday greeting, because she looking at her dude out there in the driveway.
Right. Yeah, man, get out of here.
Right, and then she goes to the mirror, sets it up, and then Furio, you know, of course he
come talking nothing. I'm by your house.
Right.
He ain't talking about shit.
He ain't talking about nothing,
bro.
You want some coffee? Yeah. Let me get some coffee, man.
Nah, bring your ass on, nigga. Come on to the roof.
This is so funny, bro. This setup is, you know, we ain't gonna spoil nothing for those that are first time watchers. And shout out to those that are first time watchers that some people hit us up. And they were saying that, like, you guys, like, I watched the show before or I watched some episodes. I didn't realize the things I was missing until I started listening to y'all podcast. So shouts out to them, man. That's dope. I'm like, oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, and we got some good Spotify wrap-up stuff about some people got us in their top 5 and their favorite podcasts. We got some of that good stuff in there. But,
man.
Yeah.
We're going to have to highlight that at some point.
Absolutely.
Nice.
But yeah, pretty much Furio, he can't stay for coffee. Tony's busy. He got to get going. And I think this really starts to lay out some feelings that I think Carmella has, but we'll deal with that a little bit more later in the episode. We'll go to this mob dinner, and Ralph gets the 95-pound mole joke off. It is so random because they always do Ralph's scene like this where he's at a dinner and they jump right into the Ralph joke. They done this at Jackie's funeral. They did this. But see, it's so funny. I mean, it's a character I don't know about, but like when Feeks Lomano does it, Tony is like extra turned off, like, all right, bro. But when Ralph does it, it works because like that's probably the only way Tony tolerates him is like, bro, your jokes. Like, I'll give you that. You funny mother. You know what I mean? Like,
well, see, I think the thing with it though, and the reason why this scene was so impactful throughout the season is Ralph, no matter how much they hate him, Ralph can carry a crowd. Like, he's got the charisma. Like, Ralph is, he not new age mob, but he's like the epitome of what a motherfucker look at that want to be in the mob and be like, I want to be like Ralph. They wouldn't necessarily say that about Tony unless they wanted to be a tough guy or anybody else, or maybe Christopher. But Ralph carried it. He got the moxie, and they do a great job, like you said, throughout his existence on the show. Like you said, Mo, they're right in the middle of him telling the story. He's telling the story about the boxer that he had. He was telling the story at the funeral. He's telling the story here. They did a great job without focusing too much on it, showing why this joke or what happens with the repercussions of it. Because he holds the room so well. 95-pound mole off her ass.
That's crazy.
Speaking of 98.
Oh, that's someone's wife. Hey,
bro, the fact that he like
somebody white.
Hold on.
Come on, man.
Dog, the fact that Tony like tries to like this happened to me, bro. Like me being dark skinned, like I've got all the black jokes all my life. I remember like my bro got it off like, oh man, he's like call me Charcoal or some classic like whatever. And so this girl,
Call me Charcoal. Call me Charcoal is fucking nuts.
bro,
man.
that's the beginning. Like that ain't nothing. Charcoal Brigette. Nah, but he's getting on me, and this cute girl's like laughing like, hi, she's laughing with everybody else. Then she gonna stop in the middle laughing like, don't talk about him. Ain't nothing wrong with being dark skinned. It's like you already didn't laughed at me with everybody, and now all of a sudden you want to defend the dark skin honor. And then he turned around, kid her, you can shut up too, Crispy. Like
Crispy is crazy.
I was like, yo, he called a woman Crispy.
Nigga, man? This
nigga
my bro.
He had the Uzi out. He was just shooting the chopper.
Say hello to my little friend.
Hey, y'all remember in Dark Knight when the Joker was hanging out the back of the police car? That's what he on, bro.
Yeah, he was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God. But so yeah, this is just funny. That's somebody's wife. It's like, and it's funny because the setup here is like I imagine in this time period of how they did it, they're setting it up like it's a small feat. And it's very interesting about this joke how last season when Johnny Sack moved to Jersey, Paulie included, they were getting it off on them jokes in the back of the bean. Like, and I want to ask y'all, is this joke funnier than, is there any joke that was said in the Sack, is that Sack Trials they were at when Johnny Sack walked in?
No,
okay.
they were at Bada Bing.
Okay, so in the back of the Bing,
if I'm not mistaken,
when they were making the jokes, do you think the 95-pound joke was funnier than all of those jokes? Because I definitely think one of the jokes is better.
Nah, I just think it was a perfect storm for the 98-pound mold joint.
Mm-hmm.
Like as we'll see later, but I don't think they were roasting her harder. In Bada Bing, definitely.
It was killing her there, man. For me, it wasn't even a joke, man. It was a moment at the end of season 3 when Johnny Sack ran down on Paulie. And he said, yeah, Jenny can get heavy. And that look Paulie had just trying to I don't know if anybody had been in a position to where it's almost like Michael Scott in The Office, like where he just blurts out, that's what she said. Like when you ever been in a position where your brain just want to say something, but you got to hold back, like, oh shit, we've been clowning her for so long.
Yeah.
That you saying that it's such an easy, it's a
reflex.
low hanging fruit. Yeah, it's low hanging fruit, man.
You could have easily slipped out, I bet.
Boy.
That could have easily slipped.
Golly. Right. When you want to hit somebody with pause at work, you're like, I gotta let it ride and we're at work. Like, you know.
and on Weekend Bobby, when he was talking about Harry Potter, gives the 98-pound weakling's hope.
Like it's so random, bro. And like the transition, like it's just a straight bullet for nothing. But like I definitely think the Gigi joke tops this one.
What Gigi say?
2 men can be banging her at the same time and still have never met each other. That was crazy. That was the knockout. Rest in peace, Gigi, man. Good goots.
We sound fucking awful, man.
I know. But in the world, let me put emphasis on it. In the world of Tony Soprano.
Hey man, sometimes you just gotta accept it, man. It is these jokes, man. The world needs more laughter.
Yeah, they do, and we let our internal thoughts come out here when you gotta bury a lot of that anyway. So
I'm not feeling guilty about commenting on fictional characters.
No,
I'm not.
Especially they doing it in the show.
Yeah,
they doing it in the show.
I didn't take it up with Chase. Yeah. Like that's how I be like, take it up with them.
We got some leeway. We got a little bit of leeway here.
I mean, and, we deal with the racist stuff all the time really well. So like, give us a break. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's not the end of it. After the 95-pound mold joke, everybody leaves and they get to, I guess, the real sit down. And Patsy Pasqualin, that's his name. I guess that's the Italian name. One of our listeners, he was educating me on Jackie's name when they at the funeral. He had an Italian name, but he said it normally means John for some reason. But that's a deeper thing. But Patsy, nonetheless, they're having this conversation about the no work and no show jobs. I can't explain that at this moment. There's a YouTube video of a young lady that does great Sopranos content. She broke it down. I don't know. Are y'all familiar with the no work versus no show jobs?
Yeah. So the no show jobs is going to be positions that they're listed for, they get paid for, but nobody really has to show up. because one of them managing the site anyway. Nobody's checking off on it. everybody's kind of in on it without being in on it. So you just getting the salary without showing up for the jobs. And then what was the other one you said?
No work.
Same thing. When they sitting there around in a circle,
Mm-hmm.
when they pull up at the site, those are the no work jobs. You got to show up. We ain't really asking you to do shit. We just need a body here. So y'all sit around and kick the shit all day. And you get paid for it.
Hey, look, people probably really getting crazy arguments for the no-show joints. Like I need
absolutely.
That. I need that. You
see how Ralphie was trying to keep him. Ralphie is a good negotiator. We started at the bottom, my nigga. Yeah. Like, y'all got to get me up on one. That's all. I may be able to do one.
No,
like
he is a wild boy.
Yeah, that's negotiating, setting a hell of an anchor right there. Seal wasn't even trying to hear that shit. What's the real number?
Right. You're like, stop doing this. Like, stop. Why
we got to do this? Like, I'm sure we all got homeboys, but they got to go through their little thing. Like, bro, come on, bro. We know where this is going to end up, like how it's going to end. Dog. Why we even got to start here? Yeah.
I have a bro like that. The bro that I was speaking about, like, you too crispy, like that. That bro is the same bro where, like, he's telling you stories about him and women, and then he always end up being a victim. I'm like, bro, all right. Like, what's the real story? What did you do? Like, you know what I mean? So it's definitely like you always got
40% of the information.
Yeah, you got a homeboy like that for sure. You're like, all right,
facts.
What's the real?
Facts.
But is there anything else y'all get from this other than them kind of negotiating this on Little Paulie negotiating on big, Paulie Walnut's behalf or whatnot?
Yeah, your man had his swag was up a notch a little bit. That was talking for Paulie. So you was gonna say the same thing. Where was he coming from? Where did he get this
Little Paulie?
Not Little Paulie, my man that you just said at the beginning. Patsy. Yeah, Patsy's swag was a little too high.
Oh yeah, with the little line.
I don't know where he was getting off at to like be telling niggas to hush up and shit. But yeah, Patsy, I noticed in this episode, man, his swag was a little high. I don't know what happened. He must have been earning a little bit more money or something.
Hey, I'm from the old school. Patsy, bro. Patsy, dude, he comes from that area. He comes from that Paulie. Yeah, that Paulie area, that kind of like, bro, there's only one person speaking.
Yeah.
That Johnny Sacks. I remember when you used to wait in the car.
I remember when you waited in the car.
That Uncle Junior, huh? Somebody saying something. What? Like you don't speak out of turn, bro. Shut the fuck up when grown folks talking.
That I love it, boy. Talk that talk.
Straight up.
But yeah, I think that Patsy was getting this fly on. I mean, Patsy's one of my favorites. I know Spike, you're not big into him like that, but I like Patsy. He's just one of those.
He's a loser to me, man.
Not at all.
I fuck with Patsy.
Not at all. I don't know why you always say a loser. Like, bro, he's a solid.
I don't see it, bro.
What? I don't.
He was in Tony's backyard trying to shoot him over some shit that was real within Tony's
his brother. He killed his brother.
Hey, you signed up for this shit, bro.
Your
brother was in the wrong.
Okay, let's say you got a close cousin though.
Signed up for this shit, bro. This is what we do. This is our this is the field of life that we chose,
bro.
See,
this is where
we pricking our fingers. Why even prick our fingers then?
See, look at
why even prick our fingers?
Look at him.
We're not gonna be fine. Why even prick our fingers then?
See, because that's where you start take the personal and put it back into the fantasy world, but in reality, in real time, it's like, no, this is a person I grew up with. We was in diapers. This my guy for real. Like,
hey, man,
I know it's a little different for you.
It happens like this sometimes.
No, it does. But I'm saying, I mean, yeah, and he was out of pocket, but I don't look at it like, oh, you're a loser because you were upset, you were depressed about your brother.
Because you carrying it around. Like, you ain't got to be a loser because it happened to your brother. Just you carrying it around, you acting like a bitch, and now you big badass. Like,
this guy
niggas is shut up and shit. Like,
you're talking about Bobby. Big Bobby is like this.
That's my guy. Big Bobby is way more stand up than Patsy.
Nah, not at all.
Big Bobby, the most stand up guy in this world, probably. Other than
look at this guy. You're wild.
Bobby stand up dude, man. Bobby
the most stand up dude though. In what regard?
Right
in what regard?
Just period. Just overall.
I mean, what is that?
Every
in this
attribute. World? If you're talking about loyalty, if you're talking about even he ain't.
Okay. Seal is more loyal.
We can
go down.
This ain't the episode.
Okay,
this ain't the episode to be bringing it up, Mo.
We could definitely discuss that.
Because I was like, we want to go there. Bobby's attributes. I could probably find anybody to replace any of the things you think Bobby's great. I could probably find one character that's better.
You maybe can find one for each of the attributes, but neither one of them will have attributes as close to the top as he will all the way through and through.
Okay,
he may not be
this.
The top in either one of them, but he's most consistent in all of them.
Okay, let me ask this, and we moving on. what season do you think we need to have this discussion about him?
Five-ish, about five-ish.
Five-ish?
The discussion about him really doesn't come up to 5
No,
or 6.
yeah. That's why I
5 or
wanted
6,
to know. So I'll revisit it because Rich
people
is
have
right.
no idea. Now
He's
they
like,
looking at
bro,
us
this is
why
not the
y'all talking
episode.
about
We're gonna be
Bobby,
stuck.
bro?
Okay,
But no, this ain't the episode for you to credit Seal, is what he was saying. Like
that's
the best part.
I was saying this ain't
Yeah.
the episode for you to be defending Phil about being loyal. I mean,
No,
Seal,
sir.
excuse me.
And we're
About being
definitely
okay.
loyal.
So he has one loss, but he's undefeated throughout.
It was just the irony that you're arguing that on this
Yeah, on
episode.
this
You know what I
episode
mean?
is crazy.
I'm like, out of all the episodes, you can't say
but seriously though, like out of all, like Seal, this is the one L. You know, but anyway, nonetheless, but like we say, we'll agree to disagree. But I'm a fan of Patsy. I just think he's a lower tier guy. I think maybe in his mind he thought that Paulie being in the can, little Paulie's rolling with him. I'm gonna be next up. I'm gonna be acting capo there. I think that's a part of the flyness until we get the big reveal that Christopher is gonna run Paulie's crew, and that
Man, started really name for that position.
dog.
Yeah. Nah, that's a fact.
Cause look at Patsy's face, bro. Like, let it marinate. Like the way he looking, like, huh? All right, bro.
Yeah, Chris was
just
shot.
his Seal face. All of their faces, honestly.
Yeah.
Seal was not happy.
Like,
and this is really accurate too. I listened to I talked about Sammy the Bull's podcast, Our Thing, and there's been moments like this, like with John Gotti, like moving people along and moving them, not only making guys, but moving them into capo positions where it's like, bro, you're not really even qualified for real. Like, you're not at that point yet, but they're doing it because of, personal reasons, whatever they feel the need to do it for. So it's very accurate. This is right, spot on. It's like 100%. These type of moves, especially at this era of the mob coming to an end. You know what I mean?
This is accurate. This is accurate for any work. You don't have to be connected. You don't have to do it. If you've ever worked a job or worked for a company, you've seen shit like this happen. You want to get your people in play,
man. Absolutely.
What do I think about the Seal and Paulie interaction at the end where he said, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some wings, like Paulie or whatever, and he was like, I'll talk to you later.
I mean, Phil and Patsy or Phil and Chris or
Seal and Chris.
Damn,
You're playing around, bro. This is serious. This reconfirms what I thought when Tony told me this in the first place. You think this shit is a joke?
Okay. So you think Seal has a problem moving you to capo, but he never had a problem with you being made?
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't
two different things.
Seal, Tony even mentions it this episode, man. Him and Seal go back a long way. Seal's been in this shit forever, right? He knows, he's seen the natural progression. He's seen people way better than Chris throughout the years that's never got to look like this. So it's like, all right, Tony, like, what you doing now? Shit starting to flow into that new era of doing things. This ain't how it normally works. I get that's your people, but running, there's other people qualified. Patsy's qualified to do this. He's got more experience. Chris ain't all the way there, man. He still hasn't put a solid string of time together where we can count on him. Like, he has his issues. He's in, he's out, like all types of shit. And then you come up to me talking about someone get wings like Paulie. Like, bro, you taking over a crew. Take this shit serious.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Let me see, like, show me that you really earned this. You just putting I think you said it, Mo. You confirming what I already thought. This is some bullshit. And if Tony making moves like this, then I'm gonna start to question his leadership.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm gonna question what he's doing with me. If you're running up the chain this fast, there's only one spot next to him, and I'm in it.
Yep.
I ain't trying to retire no time soon.
Some alternate universe talk right now.
Yeah. Seal see the bigger picture.
Tony even mentioned it though. Was it? It was a previous episode. He was like, "I want Chrissy to start taking more responsibility, and like the only people you really can trust is family."
Yep. He said that to Melfi. He ain't said that to anybody.
He ain't said it to anybody in the field. You're right, but I think it's brilliant that we don't have to see it play out amongst the characters. We've seen Tony say it to Melfi as a thought, and now we're seeing the repercussions of that thought because Tony not running it by nobody. Like, we ain't see no counsel from Junior. We ain't see him talk to Johnny Sack, anything about it. It's just, I think this is the new way and it'll work and it'll insulate me more. But nobody from that world, as you mentioned, Rich, nobody from that world was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Everybody kind of raised an eyebrow to it.
And Seal always get those conversations. Nobody else does, Seal does. He's going to run something by Seal all that. So since Seal didn't get that, he just got a, hey, this is what's gonna happen. It's not what do you think about it?
Yeah.
All right, man. I see what's going on. I ain't get to my spot by not seeing the full picture.
Facts.
Nah, I stand corrected. I just thought about something. Seal take 2 losses. Still a great record, but he takes 2 losses. This one and the next one. This one and the next episode.
I'm trying to think about it. We'll get to it.
Yeah, I just thought about it. Sorry. It's like, 2 L's. But we go Danielle and Adriana at the Crazy Horse. And they're having, just having a conversation. And Danielle begins to talk about this guy, this story about this guy named Vinny that she would sleep with, and his beeper would go off. And she said that she thought that he was connected. And Adriana sealed lips. What do y'all think about this? Because we talked about last episode how green or not green Adriana is. And this moment is like a interesting moment because it's like she already was about to get personal with her about not being able to have children because of an operation gone bad. What do you think about this though? Like kind of picking this up. Do you think she wasn't picking nothing up at all? Just like okay, or do you think she was intentionally like I ain't saying nothing?
I think it's a natural reflex for her to know. Like if you're starting to ask about what it is that Chris does or the people that he's with, to mum is the word. But she don't. That's like the basic level type of stuff. Like the fact that she can't even see what's going on lets you know that she is green. Mm-hmm. She's not connected. She doesn't know she doesn't even have any idea. Chris has been saying it, and that goes to Chris. We'll get to that later. He knows something off too, but he's so high and all that other shit that he doesn't see it either. Yeah. But just the fact that she can't even pick up new friend, all this stuff, and she did her part, but she ain't solid. Like you seen some G's. She ain't. You know what that answer would be if that was Rock, or how that conversation would go if that was Gemma Taylor. If anybody's seen Sons of Anarchy, the G's of women. It's going a whole different way. But man, she looking to be vulnerable, man. She doesn't have anybody to open up to.
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, and that's what makes it kind of acceptable. Like I almost turn my nose up at this scene at how green Aid is, but you are right, Mo. She does do a good job of not really giving too much information in the sense of Christopher. As Rich said, she's looking to open up and wants a personal connection with somebody about her. And this chick is definitely trying to drive it the other way towards Chris. And Adriana's picking up on it a little bit, but I'm kind of bothered as a viewer that she's not, like, her spidey senses ain't tingling. Like, you dealing with this new chick, she always want to talk about Chris. She always kind of skew the conversation towards some bullshit to where you'll be spilling information versus her. The fact that she's not picking up on this is kind of like, it puts you back, but you can tell from her telling the story about the little baby. Like Rich said, she's just looking for a personal connection. She's looking for somebody real in her life. Her mom is a piece of shit. Chris a piece of shit. Like we don't see Adriana have one real connection throughout this show, other than, well, one, we see it later on, but
yeah.
And that's a great point. That's a great point because she was dying to get that off her chest to somebody. That she said she
didn't even tell Chris. She said,
yeah, or her mom.
Yeah.
She hasn't told anybody. So
right.
Yeah, like she really thought that like Danielle must have put a number on her.
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about how it played out. That's sorry. It's yeah. Y'all right though. Like yeah, definitely didn't share this information yet with Chris. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I talked about it a little bit on another week of the books, but like how an age gap sometimes you kind of marginalize yourself sometimes. You feel that way. And her is like, she looks at the other mob wife. She's not a wife, but she's a fiance. And we'll see later on that she'll start trying to make those connections. But like at this moment, it's like nobody's young like me. Nobody, they're all this. Like, how she felt about Carmela in the early season. She's old. She overworks out. She's like a doormat. Like, she didn't really connect with her like that. So it's like, finally meeting somebody her age, you know, and feeling like, okay, you know what's going on. You're a part of, even though we know that she's fed, but like in her mind, it's like I met somebody my age, and you know, but yeah, it's a very interesting thing, man.
It's also Danielle's excited. Like she's actually warming up to me. She just told me a big piece of information. I got her. That's a Fed, like that's her job. That's one of those pieces of information that can easily turn you into Jay Reed.
You ain't no cop, Jay Reed.
You ain't
You
no
feel
cop,
me?
Jay
No
Reed.
cop, Jay
When you start building those connections to where you start losing, am I FBI agent or am I Adriana's friend? Like you can easily start teetering those lines, but she was on it the whole jump. I'm a Fed.
Oh yeah,
Like, I don't give a fuck about this story. None of this
she
shit.
ain't Jay Reed. Nah, she ain't
She ain't
Carlito's Way. She ain't
even,
Jay Reed. None of that. She
that ain't even crossed her mind. So
right.
yeah, so that said a lot about Danielle in this moment.
She don't even got the fluff hair no more, bro. Like the fluff hair is over. Like that's over with.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that's how far as like, yeah, all right. Like, you know what I mean? Which I think speaks to, you know, later on in the episode. But I guess Chris pulls up and he gives little Paulie some, you know, something to take out the odors in that little white.
You put that baking soda in the back of the freezer, man. And
yeah. Gave a little baking soda, you know what I mean? A little powdered like donuts.
It show how Chris be on his P's and Q's because it still shows that Chris, I don't really know this chick. So like, even though you got her around and she following you around and shit, and she's seeing this, like I still ain't just committing to doing my business out in the open in front of her. Yeah, and go some baking soda.
And Danielle said, my sister had the same issue. I know OBG. Hey, she foul, bro. She foul. It's fucked up, man.
You think that's foul? Wait till you see later.
I know, right?
Boy, straight resting face, boy.
Say go buy a drink somewhere. I gotta talk to my fiance.
Yeah, go buy a drink.
Right.
Empty ass bar.
Right. It's like, you know what I mean?
Get the fuck out of here.
But yeah, he ends up, you know, getting the coke going, and they're having he ends up icing her out with a Harry Winston bracelet, boy. I don't know how much that costs. There's a page out there on Instagram that they be like pricing the watches and stuff off Sopranos. I don't know if he has a bracelet, but that bracelet definitely look like it costs a lot.
Or carry some Bugs Bunny, Winston, you feel me?
What carry some Bugs Bunny?
I'm gonna ask. I'm sure it's not, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Does that cost more than Carmela's sapphire ring?
Not at all.
Okay.
No.
So right now the sapphire ring is still running it.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to see if we see any item that may surpass the Carmela ring.
Fur coat might have been more than that bracelet.
Fur coat might be. That was
that second one. Coat. I mean, that first one that he got.
The first one.
Okay. The one. That coat. Either one of them.
The bedroom fur.
Yeah. That looked like it. That coat looked like it just got finished breathing.
Right.
You ain't lying about that, boy.
They took that fresh off the end.
You know, you can't even keep those in the closet. I didn't even know that. You're not supposed to. When you buy fur, you got to store it somewhere, and they keep it at a certain temperature so it doesn't change the coating of it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It is.
So they have like in places where a lot of people have them, they have like fur storage places where they keep it at the same temperature and shit.
Just like cars, man. The more expensive, the more expensive the maintenance.
Exactly. More shit you got to do.
It's a big fact. Again, Chris acknowledges something's wrong with that broad, but of course, like Rick said, he's too high to actually pick it up.
Well, not even just too high though, but he's not paying enough attention like he's supposed to, and I think that's a theme in this episode. Like he's not really. He's too worried about like the lifestyle versus paying attention to the pieces on the chessboard, and it comes to play even later on when we're talking about the construction shit, which we'll get into. Like, if you know something off is her, something is off with the broad, like he said. Broad is not my word, it's Chris's. But if you know something is off with her, he's not addressing it in the right way. He's leading Adriana down the path of, oh, she's probably a dyke, versus let's figure this shit out. Like, what's wrong? Like, not. Hopefully,
tell me everything you know about this girl.
Yeah, hopefully that is it. But now since we here and you think it too, let's figure this shit out. That's what his job is. That's what he's supposed to be doing.
I think we talked about that last week. It blows. I'm telling y'all, man. I'm as somebody who's not involved in any kind of criminal lifestyle, just a normal guy. it blows my mind that this man ain't asking, like, yo,
Like,
who is she?
Is that?
Where you know her from?
Exactly.
Like, what
Why
do you
is she
know about
always
her?
around all of a sudden through these last 4 or 5 months? Like,
Yeah, what do
what's
you
going
know
on,
about
bro?
her? Like I said, do you know her last name? Do you
Yeah.
know her mom? Like, have
But
you
y'all gotta
met anybody
remember-
that she knows?
You got to remember, like, he's a part of the new generation. Just like y'all know, we see younger cats out here now. They're not asking the same questions. They're not they're not familiar. Like, what was that? Huh? What? Oh, I did. He's not asking these things. Like, he didn't even get in the mob for the right reasons. When he got mad at Tony, he's like, Jackie Jr., when you can't do that. What made me inferior? What made guys? And he didn't even really emphasize that more than he just said, I loved you. So I'm almost just here because I loved you. I just want to be next to you. I want to be in this thing because this is what I see. Okay, my dad was in it. You were in it. He's not even really in it for, like, you know what I mean, the right reason. That's why he's so quick to, like, oh, I share my story. Oh, I could. He's not even in it for the right reason. So that's why I feel like he's not even asking those questions.
Well, I don't even think it's mine. I'm just talking about just on human level. Like, who is this person in my crib? This is my space. This is my sanctuary. Just from that perspective, like, who is this woman, this stranger that all of a sudden is at my crib every day? I'm a beer short. Like, who the fuck is this? I don't know her, and you got her in my house every day. At some point, I need to know who the fuck you bringing around. Like, if she's gonna be here, there needs to be some kind of understanding. Like, and most people just don't like coming home with somebody always there anyway. Like, just if you are, then I better be damn sure I'm comfortable with you. Like, who
Totally
are
off.
you?
Totally off topic, but of the same thing. I'm not sure if y'all seen it, but Moneybag Yo, his brother got beat up by his, like, security and shit yesterday. So Moneybag Yo
Hold on,
told
was
him,
that Yo or that wasn't that Finesse 2 times, wasn't it?
yeah, Finesse. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Damn,
yeah.
I sound like an old ass.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Finesse 2 times. Finesse 2 times brother got beat up by his, like, security up home, was it be with him. And then he came out today and he said, I just had to fine you $2,000 because you bringing people to my crib that I don't know. Like, you just popping up with people who, oh, I'm Moneybag Yo. Damn, I'm Finesse 2 times, brother. I ain't just come up with you and show y'all the crib and shit. And he was like, I fined a nigga $2,000 for that. So it's off topic, but it goes to what you're saying. Like, you don't just bring people around, especially successful people, shit that got stuff going on. Like, you don't just pop up over their house with, like, randos. So,
That's
yeah.
true. That's absolutely true. We get Janice and Ralph, and they're watching TV. There's a knock on the door. Ralph goes upstairs to hide. Tony
That's
comes.
crazy, bro. I'm sorry. Every time I see this nigga go upstairs as a grown man, the idea of running and hiding from another grown man is insane to me. I'm sorry. I just had to say that.
And you know it's crazy, but that's a rush for him. Like, that is definitely there, and that's that childlike trait about Ralph too. I feel like there's definitely that like, oh, your brother's coming, like, you're trying to, you know what I mean? I still can't put my finger on it. Maybe there's a Reddit thread, but there's something about that with Ralph, like that childlike thing of his character that, you know, he's so connected to and how he is. But yeah, she comes in and we get this. I feel like this is similar to when he came over with
the way that nigga lifted up his shoe.
Don't even get there yet. Don't even get to that yet.
How is Bacala?
I love how Tony put it together though when he picked up the DVD with the VHS, like, Faces of Death, Sound of Music already rented out.
Mm-hmm.
And then he hit her with that time with Tola, he's one slow motherfucker. It wouldn't have been a year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was great.
We're gonna go the independent route. Oh,
it's
yeah,
just like he pulled up over there to bust her balls, dude.
Mm-hmm.
For real,
this shit was great, man.
He was on one. Mo, you was about to say it, man. That shit was hilarious too.
Richie.
How was Bacala? Fat.
He's fat. Saying he's fat as a status is crazy. Telling somebody, like, how you doing? I'm fat. Like, that's crazy.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. Oh my God, man. This is a great Tony.
This is I love the fact that this scene comes right after that Christian and what we just talked about, man. Just look how in the span of 20 seconds, how much Tony observed and picked up on.
Exactly. That great pull, Rich. That's exactly the difference between a nigga like
from the
Chris.
VHS. I know the VHS don't even belong here. Like
what
this
is
shit,
this doing here?
It's a talent, man. You born with this or not? When you can just look at a room and say something don't look right here.
Something ain't right. You ain't acting right. Something ain't right. It's off in here, and I'm gonna address it. The way he picked up Ralph's shoes, bro, is probably one of the greatest moments in Soprano history.
Facts.
Like he was disgusted to even be holding it. He held it by the smallest string that you could possibly hold it by. And his
with
face.
The 2 fingers.
Bro.
With the 2 fingers is crazy.
Y'all have to remember, last episode, he caught Ralphie with the hat and cheeks out, bro. You are a nasty nigga, bro.
And you in my mom's house with my sister. Bro, come on, man. Y'all think he knew Ralph was upstairs? Or he think he just left his shoes there?
I think he thought he left the shoe there.
Because if Ralph was upstairs, I think he would have tried to find it.
He maybe made a joke like you can come down or something, like, you know.
Jesus.
I don't know. Yeah, man. Because part of me would think Tony might have a little bit more respect for Ralph and think that he wouldn't be the type to hide.
To hide out, yeah. That was part of the discussion with holding the shoes. Like, remember, you upstairs hiding?
Because remember, Richie came to the door in his drawers. Like,
drawers. So we talking different.
Did you want some eggs?
Okay,
yeah,
again.
I don't give a fuck about none of this.
Again, we talk about, I know it's been a while. I let it marinate, but bringing it back, this is the difference between Ralphie and Richie right there. Like Ralphie, I'm very comfortable and confident in my drawers, cooking food for your sister. You know what I mean? Versus, Ralph is upstairs hiding like a little boy.
But it says to what you always say about the kid thing with Ralph. This is like fun and games for Ralph.
Yeah.
He ain't even really taking this shit serious. Richie a grown man. Like, I ain't nigga run up. Could you imagine her telling Richie to go run upstairs and hide, bro?
Old school Janice.
Yeah.
I don't
He wouldn't even said nothing. He would have just looked at her like, bitch, is you serious?
Crazy.
Ain't going nowhere.
Right,
man, bro, Ralph got up and answered the door like he did.
Yeah,
when Tony walked off, he did the shake like that to get all
like you really go shake off his disgust. Like that was funny, bro.
Hey, that was good, man.
Hilarious, man.
That was really good right there.
James Gandolfini, man. Rest in peace, man. A legend, dude. Like,
God damn. That was great acting.
That was. Little Paulie, he comes to visit Paulie Walnuts, and he just kind of starts to run through. He says, hey, you got 5, jobs, 2 no-shows, 2 no works. He kind of runs through everything. Then he tells him about Ralph had this joke the other day about Jenny Sack getting a 95-pound mole removed, and he's like, what is that funny to you? Which I felt like Paulie's the one that had 2 jokes on Jenny Sack last season. He said one, I don't remember the other one, but he said one, you put your hands around her and they get lost. Like, bro. He said something about the Bears lose their appetite or something. But
shit changed when you in jail, bro.
I was about to say, ain't shit funny when you in jail.
Yeah, shit changed when you in jail, bro. And it ain't but one person taking your calls. Ain't nobody went to see Mom Dukes.
Great point.
Like none of that. Like, bro, like none of that shit funny now. Like y'all niggas is out here joking. I'm serving time. I don't know when I'm gonna get out. Yeah, like funny like what? Yeah. Like I'm a clown to you?
Yeah. I'm a
and I ain't even in New Jersey, nigga. I'm in Ohio.
Right. I don't even know.
I don't know what's going on, bro. Like I'm not connected out here, or I'm probably in, but you know what I mean. But ain't shit funny, bro. Ain't nothing funny in jail.
And that's old school with Paulie. That's a card to add to his. Like I'm just gonna hold this. I'm just gonna keep this card close to my chest just in case I need it. Cause I ain't really cool with how Tony acting right now. Ain't nobody really showing me love. I've been talking to John. Let me just hold this close to the vest in case I need it. That's some old school shit.
That's a big point too. The one person I am speaking to ain't even a part of my crew, and you making a joke about the person I'm speaking to.
It's fucking with me.
Yeah, that's taking my right now.
This is crazy that like you start building some loyalty and start getting some like relationship points that you think are going to play out a certain way, and then they show you their true colors. Like, bro, that's crazy. I've been there, but like, man, it's just crazy. Like how Paulie, like, this is what I'm riding for. It's the only person got me. Like, this is really some Tupac,
that's
Suge Knight type, Like, he the only person that really reached out to. He the only person that really cared while I was in prison. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like that type of situation till you get out and realize.
Yeah, and that's why you can't have when you make those type of commitments and bonds, part of that is your responsibility to bring any grievances to the table. Like there shouldn't be you should all this shit that you feeling, the anger, that should be able to be put out there to Tony, to somebody, to little Paulie. Tell them I'm pissed off. Like I need somebody to contact me ASAP, just because that prevents all of that bullshit.
Versus all that
prevents you trying to reach
shit.
Exactly. Like, listen, y'all know y'all fucking up right now. Come on, ain't nobody coming to see moms. What the fuck y'all on in there? Y'all know I wouldn't let none of that shit pass. Right. Like you got to be able to say that. And that's when you know shit is tight, man. When you start mixing all this other bullshit, like, nah, man, that's why it's so easy for Paulie to go over there. Paulie know better.
Facts.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said.
Well said. I agree. Chris pulls up to the Esplanade, the no-show job. Passes 10:30 to 3 doing nothing. That sounds pretty good to me. I ain't gonna even front. Like this right here, I said, I mean, it's different in this area. They probably had to read a newspaper, bust some balls. Us in this area, it's like, yeah, pull up the phone. Like, let me get charged up. Let me get some movies. Let me get some stuff downloaded. I'm about to chill out here. You know what I mean? Like in our area, having a 10:30 to 3 no work job. Come on, bro.
And they probably making making like 40, 50 an hour too.
Oh,
nice jobs.
100%, man.
But there's I'll go ahead.
No, I was gonna say this is when you look at this crew, Patsy, man. Pat, there's nothing like seeing somebody pull up that you know I could be doing your job better than you. Like you just a complete jack. Even if you were young, it don't matter. I don't think it matters about him young. If he was young and good, then I can warm up to it. You just a jackass, bro. Like you just.
If I were a douchebag.
Yeah, like I don't even fuck with you, man. Like,
yeah, why you coming up here playing with us like this, bro?
Yeah, like I should be the one, and you see it like when Paulie come out the porter, when Patsy come out the porter party, excuse me, he's the one telling them, like he's the one controlling shit. Hey guys, pick up those ice cream wrappers, man. Have some. I know we ain't doing this shit, but at least keep the shit somewhat legit. And then Chris pull up bullshit, and I should be the one pulling up, checking in on y'all, not sitting here from 10 to 3. I know you are right, no. It is a great job, but shit, I'm past this point. Paulie, I mean, I keep saying Paulie. Patsy's probably looking at it like I'm past that point in my life. I should be the one
with the no show.
This shit.
I shouldn't even have to be here.
Yeah, who doesn't fit with this group? I got Lil Paulie, I got Benny, I got a couple other jerk offs. Like I shouldn't even be here with these clowns.
Yes, really.
That's like when that's like when you are on JV a little too long, like all your friends start playing varsity and you still on JV. Like, damn, man, what the fuck?
You never had to make it of a varsity athlete.
Like you just kind of like, damn, like I was just as good as him all these years. We grew up playing each other the whole time. Now it's
I love that point because I still got experience like that.
Yeah, I do too.
You be like, man, that's bullshit. I do too. That's why I brought it up. Shit. Yeah. Politics go into it, all types of shit go into it. But and listen, that's what's going on with Patsy. Politics. Mm-hmm. It's not that I'm not capable of doing it. Everybody knows I should be on the field. Mm-hmm. But there's a young dude, you know what I'm saying, some transfer that came in. I done told him if he's gonna come to school, he's gonna play right away. You get bumped down.
His dad a booster.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. You know how this shit go.
Yeah, you know it.
Oh shit. What y'all think about the look though?
Bro, I love this look. I don't know why.
Y'all have it interpreted the same way? Like
no. Oh yeah, no, right? Like he's trying to give it. I'm not gonna say it because you're the captain at this point, the acting cap. But like he's telling you, like he gave me the nod, like, yeah, this is it though. This the lick. And I've seen somebody, I forgot, somebody did a meme recently where it was like the look when you're at Thanksgiving and your family don't. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
This dude on Twitter, man, I forget who it is off the top of my head, but Kevin something.
Oh, Kevin Finnerty.
Kevin Finnerty. Mm-hmm. He always posts Soprano memes, and it was on Thanksgiving when you give your cousin the look that you're ready to take the walk.
Take that walk.
Yeah.
I'll take that walk.
I was like, bro, that look is like, there's so many memes. Like, I guarantee that's that look like, you ready to go? Yeah. You ready? Yeah. You sure? Yeah. Yeah. It's just funny. It's like, but yeah, fiber optic cables, man. So I can't wait till we get to that.
I love it.
There's a lot of money in that now. I know that shit was a shit ton.
Man,
whatever it is, then.
Boy, I love Patsy's. He just keep fucking with Chris when he gave him the envelope. Say you put the spores in there. That's not. That anthrax shit was real, man.
Oh man, come on, man. Yeah,
people were scared to open the mail.
Facts.
Yeah, that was real. Tony and Melfi, they're having a conversation. He's just going into it about everything about the situation with Carmela and Meadow. The one thing that stood out to me, and I throw the ball in your court, just this stood out to me. She said, "Dad, the template for all lovers." That is a heavy line, bro. First off, I am a dad, so that hit totally different. It made me have to think about some things. Like, as
Good
a
example.
yeah, as you know, as my wife's lover, I'm like, all right, how would my daughter see that? You know what I mean? So she really hit it out of the park, but it went over his head. He didn't even think about that. Like, but what did you gather from this? Him just kind of airing out his grievances about the relationship and everything. Him kind of having a sentimental thought about Meadow and how she never really goes at him like she goes at Carmela.
I think part of and we've been seeing it all episode, right? Even in the opening scene when he's getting dressed, they flash up to him and his face like he's kind of like exhausted. Tony's taking that "I'm not in it, but I'm in it" type of approach. Like this seems to be some kind of beef between Carmela and Meadow. I'd rather stay on the side of being in her good graces. Like, I want to be the good. It's always good cop, bad cop, and I'm playing the good cop role right now. But I'm also concerned because I know she's fucked up right now, and we just got to keep it a buck. I don't know if Tony's looked at himself in the mirror, but he chose being a boss over being a dad. Tony's not even in a position to properly. Tony's not even in a position to properly help Meadow grieve or move on with this Jackie situation because he's responsible for it. He knew that doing something to Jackie was going to affect his daughter, which means that it affects him being a dad. But he chose being a boss and taking care of his other family because that's the code they live by. Spike says it all the time. When you get that fingerprint, this when we saw Chris getting made, this is your family. This is more important than everything. So I think part of Tony is what he's feeling is I'm a little bit depressed and fucked up because I can't be a dad to my daughter because how the fuck can I fake being there when I'm the one that's responsible for all this bullshit?
Well said.
Very well said. Very well said. And I think Tony has this thing with like Richie was saying it just now, like, I ain't in it, but I'm in it because I'm here. But also, like, why can't y'all just figure this shit the fuck out? Like, why do we got to be constant bickering? Like, why can't y'all come to some sort of agreement? And that's the thing that seems to be taking a toll on Tony. Like, it's just a constant back and forth. Like, Meadow thinks she right. Carmela thinks she right. Just going back and forth with that is the thing that was getting Tony.
Yeah, it's that's definitely a thing. And being a man and being in the household with a woman and a girl.
And at least he acknowledged, which I never heard Carmela do. He said she's traumatized. Like she lost someone that was close to her. And I that's really not, as we said earlier, that ain't really hitting home for Carmela. Because Carmela is so jaded and I want to make sure that Meadow doesn't fall victim to this life.
Carmela is like an autopilot, bro. Because it's like I feel like she's in this autopilot realm where if I just keep the house clean so many days, if I just raise the kids so many days, I always go back to the line she said to Vic in the paint shop where it's like, one day I may be free. And so I just feel like that's her mentality is like, one day I may be free. So I can't feel these other things that are going on as far as, like, I feel like she feels things to like help her operation in regards to one day I'm gonna be free. Maybe I'll divorce Tony. Maybe I'll get out of there or whatever. Because Melfi acknowledges like, you'll never leave her. She'll leave you, but you'll never leave her. So I feel like when it comes to grief, that's something she just don't feel. Like she probably didn't feel nothing with Jackie Sr. She didn't feel nothing with Richie, with knowing that was Janet's fiance. She don't, that's not in her realm. Like I feel like she's just so focused on one day I'll be free that just don't compute for her.
She grieving her own life.
Yeah. For me as a viewer, and we all look at this as fans of Tony. Like that's the person, the protagonist in the show. that what you said, Mo, is what makes me not able to fully sympathize with Carmela.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right, she does carry herself as if one day I may be free of this, almost as if Tony is holding her hostage, and that's not the case.
Right.
So us as fans of Tony Soprano, we always look at this, and I know me, for example, well, me at least, this season and the rest of the seasons to come, you always look at this like, Carmela, you really you bringing this on yourself, because you're the one that's sticking around asking for the shit that you, well, not asking for the stuff that you don't like, but accepting the things that you don't like, continuing to be in autopilot and live this lifestyle and live for the brief moments with the priest or with Furio. Like, that's on you. That ain't on Tony. Even though we get to see Tony do all of his dirt and he's the main protagonist in the show, we see him with the Gumas and we see, you know, how he carries himself outside his marriage. I still never feel sorry for Carmela because she's sticking around for selfish purposes.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't like, oh, I want to save my family. It ain't like, oh, I love Tony so much. It's more so I appreciate everything that comes with who I am. And I don't feel no sympathy for that. You get everything you deserve when it's accents.
I ain't gonna say you deserve, but
everything you deserve, because you can walk out of that door, bro.
No, I ain't gonna say you deserve that. Like you do all that, you hold down the fort, and you turn around and get disrespected. But what I will say,
but you allow that level of disrespect though. No, she's allowing it.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. You're absolutely right. Because you allow it don't mean necessarily deserve it. You have it coming to you because you're allowing it. I ain't gonna say you deserve it. So I'm with you. I know what you're saying. I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, because I'm a celebrity. Yeah, you deserve. Hold on, like wait a minute.
That's what you see. I think we just have a disagreeing in. I understand what you're saying. I just don't agree with it because I think like even when you're saying with the celebrity, you sign up for that.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. So she signed up for it. As far as like, okay, you keep doing it, but deserve saying, oh, based on these things, it equals.
This is a part of it. So deserve being that this is a part of. You can't have one without.
I think deserve is probably the wrong word. Because deserve is like rewarding, almost. Because if I'm doing this thing, this is the reward. Oh, because you did this, yeah, you're getting this.
Right.
You deserve this.
If I'm doing this thing because I like some of the benefits of it, but I don't like all of the things that come with it. I feel like the stuff that you are taking, that's your payment, and you deserve the other stuff. Like, I
quote McNulty all the time in this, man. I use this probably not every day, but very often, man. You play in the dirt, you get dirt.
Yeah.
It's really that
simple. We've gone without a wire. What's some call? It's probably the record.
No, see, that's crazy because last episode he did it like first 2 minutes.
First thing, yeah, this is the longest we've gone.
Yeah, he let it marinate this week.
But yeah, I'm gonna stick with deserve, Mo. Like in the sense of Carmela could be living a lesser of a lifestyle with a lot less profile, and then she wouldn't be deserving of the things that come with her living a high profile life or being the mob boss's wife. So if you're signing up and you're willingly accepting that, then in turn, that's why I use the word deserve.
I mean, I agree with you as far as I think at one point it wasn't in that deserve space. I think that we're definitely in that. We're definitely there now because you talk to the Jewish therapist, and he told you like it's blood money, all it's blood money, all of it. And the only way you could be, cleansed is leaving all of that, and you still chose to accept it. You talk to the Nigerian therapist, and you pretty much say, okay, I can deal with that. So absolutely, like deserve at this point. But I think there was a point that I almost feel like season one. After season one, I feel like that's it. Because I feel like she still was trying to work this thing out. But I mean, even then, it's like the Gumar thing, and anyway. But that's a deeper conversation. Y'all stay tuned because we got plenty of conversations. We got character analysis.
We'll continue this Carmelo thing because
we got absolutely. Yeah. I can't wait to do our character analysis. We'll start doing episodes like that. So y'all just stay tuned for that type of stuff. But yeah, what did you think, Spike? I didn't get your take on, but what did you think about this? Is just a one line out of the Tony Melfi scene when she said, "Dads are the template for all lovers." What do you think about that line?
I think that's true. I've heard that said about moms too.
Hmm.
Like guys look for either someone who is just like their mom or complete opposite.
Hmm.
So I've heard it put that way as well. So yeah, I think
Okay.
that's true. Because that's what you get. That's what you get familiar with growing up. That's what makes you feel comfortable. Like you start to see these images of what you think a woman is or what you think a man is
Hmm.
in Meadows' case. So yeah, I think that's 100% spot on. That's a
Hmm.
first, like that's your first real like love, like your mother. Like that's the first person woman that you love. And in
Hmm.
her sense, dude, a father. So
That's true. Okay. We go to Meadow and Carmela. Carmela's waking Meadow up, and Meadow is pretty much still not trying to do anything. She's talking about she wants to take a year off. I think is this where she brings up she wants to go to Europe, and she's trying to set the whole with Misty. This if there's any white people thing that I've ever seen, this is
backpacking through Europe.
like just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to Europe.
Year
Excuse me,
abroad. I'm gonna take a year abroad and go to Europe.
a year abroad. Like,
I think it's a class thing too.
It is.
it is a class thing. You're right.
Definitely
It's a race thing. It's a class thing. But I noticed. I don't know if y'all noticed, but Meadow tries to do the reverse psychology thing.
She's
like Tony.
Man, she's been doing that since we met her.
And it's working. It's crazy. You watch it now, you can see it, but like, if she does, like the minute Carmela makes great points, then she'll pull back and be like, well, I'm grieving, like, just pull back into that space.
It's the disrespect, man. The fact that you start dialing on the phone, roll your eyes at her in her face, and then roll and turn over. Like what?
This will never happen in a black house.
Yeah, now that's not a class thing. That's definitely a race.
That's a race.
That
I
is
don't care
a
what's
white
going on. You get your
Italian.
head knocked off.
Yeah,
I'll
you
put that phone upside your head, boy. Like it's
Boy, I
it
mean,
would have been the rhetoric in my house. But also too, from a trying to look at it from Mela, like I don't understand why Carmela in her bag she ain't got number one speed, and it's just like you irritating her. Like why can't she come to her as the compassionate mother? Or why can't she come to her, try to understand what she's saying, maybe try to sympathize with her, empathize with her a little bit? But it's always as soon as she's in on Mello, oh, why didn't you do this? Or why didn't you do that? Like, don't nobody want to hear that shit, bro.
I don't think she sees it because of what we said earlier. It's that
The
control thing.
that
I want you to do
vicarious.
things the way that I say do them because I know best.
Mm-hmm. And I think again it's that vicarious, like I'm living through you. It's almost like we had a plan. We were going to go to college, and then you got to think
Ivy League school.
then you got to think
$50,000 to
yeah, Tony went off last season on AJ for what? Look at this. I paid this. I paid $50,000 to Columbia. So you got to remember now. You came to Tony asking
Sucks
for
to be
50.
you.
And now remember, hold on. Remember, you just talked about last episode. You're trying to figure out the future of the finances of the family if something were to happen with Tony. Now, if Meadow doesn't go back to college after Tony donates $50,000 to the college, you're never going to see any money, bro. I need you to go back to college because if not,
but my question is this: as a parent, Mo, I don't know. I'm asking this.
Yeah.
Isn't it effective to understand when what you're saying is not working? So let me take another approach. That's what I'm criticizing about Carmela. I get that she want Meadow to do this and she sees her in this way. I understand that. But when does it register to her on a personal level like this shit ain't working? Let me try and do it this way. Well, maybe if I take this approach. I don't like the fact, and what irritates me about Carmela this whole episode is it never registers to her. Let me try a different approach. She's so pressed, she's so anxious for Meadow to do what she wants her to do that she never even takes a step back to be like, maybe I could tell her a different way. And even when Tony tries to take a different approach, she's like, oh, so what about a house divided or standing like being together on this? Like she can't understand why you would approach Meadow in a different way. And that's my biggest nitpick. Well, not even nitpick. That's my biggest problem with how she's approaching Meadow in this episode. She never really considers I can do this another way. And my question to you as a parent,
Mhm.
isn't that a part of your bag? Like, don't you have to understand as a parent to be like, okay, it ain't working. Like beating their ass clearly ain't working because the kid's still going out and doing the same thing. Let me see if I could figure out another way. Like I thought that was a part of the tool belt.
Yeah, that's a part of it. Yeah, and if you do choose to have kids, you're right on it right there. That's perfect. Like that's a great thing to have. Lastly, to that note, yeah, I just think she's just caught up in what she wished she could be doing. But yeah, it is what it is. I hate to see that Carmella she's going hard like that, and it's like you're right. It's just one speed, and it's I don't know. I just think it's that
great. Yeah, she just got one pitch. That's it.
Yeah, one
I
pitch
wish she just had another pitch. Maybe
I had a
throw
good
breaking
point. I
ball
cannot
instead
remember.
of a fastball, man.
Yeah, that's it. I cannot remember. All right, we'll keep moving. Maybe I'll remember it later. But we get Tony.
You trying to remember?
It was one. It was a great point I was gonna make about Carmella there, but I just can't seem to remember. But yeah, that is crazy. Her just rolling her eyes and getting on the phone like that.
Bruh, wow.
Yeah, like then turned over in the bed, like yeah.
You would have never saw peace in a black household ever again, nigga.
Bro, like ever. Like
yeah. In case you didn't catch the disrespect, let me roll over and make sure you get it clearly.
Yeah. Tell her
I don't give a fuck about what you're talking about.
Get your mom to get the point at 19 is nuts.
Man, she should have called her Carmella. She should have just said that line.
Might as well.
Talking about Carmella.
Like you might as well. Carm.
It might have sent Carm over the edge.
You know, you gonna take the trash out, Carm.
That would have been it right there.
Calling her Carm would have been crazy. But we get Tony at Vesuvio's, and man, my man Artie, boy, I just never get enough of Artie Bucco. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, he's a character I wish I got so much more of. But
Artie got a hilarious moment later in this episode, man.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I was gonna bring it up too. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
I'll
let you bring it up when we get there.
Yeah, definitely. Y'all had to include me in because I might have missed it. But Artie, he's just talking about Artie's in the dumps. Like, he's talking about I already take care of the kids, and I don't know if Charmaine's about to put him on child support. But told you like, hey, you're the bartender. I'm supposed to be talking to you about my problems.
They do a great job of letting us feel where Artie is without him having a lot of screen time, bro.
Yeah,
because with this scene and the golf scene, you could tell Artie is stressed, bro. And nigga had 2 lines, but you know he is stressed.
Yeah, he is going through it right now, bro. Like, the things didn't work out. It died on the vine with him and Adriana.
It died on the vine.
Straight up died on the vine, bro. But yeah, so Chris walks in, and Tony tells
call
late. You want to make sure you add that in. He walks in late
as the capo.
He's still finessing the high right now. But Tony, you know, he gets on Chris about, you know,
the double entendre.
What?
He's still finessing the high.
What do you mean?
High being the high of being an active capo and the high of being on heroin.
High for real.
Maybe, I guess so.
Look at you, man.
Because he was definitely
that rapper.
The rapper,
you ain't never going away, man.
I guess so. I wouldn't even try. Like, it's just like that's crazy. Spike, you supposed to catch those things on Deck TV. Come on, man.
You're right.
But what did y'all think about that? Even the last line where Chris was like, like Georgie almost, were like, you really want to let it go, but you just got one more thing. You got to but wasn't it insured? What do y'all think about this interaction between Chris and Tony? Just him telling
Weren't they insured was crazy as hell to say after I just told you, think about the big picture. I damn near want to throw this drink on you, bro. Like, stop playing with me. What the fuck do they insurance got to do with the bigger picture if we talking about a $250 million job? Where you gonna go sell fiber optic cables at and make $250, bro? So it ain't even the fact that, yeah, they do have insurance and they probably can get it replaced. One, that ain't even your problem. Two, what the fuck do they got to do with what I'm telling you, bro? I'm talking about the bigger picture. You still talking small shit. Tony
it reminds me of the
conversation.
Straight up. It reminds me of the conversation you just brought up about Carmella needing to take a different approach. This should have been the moment Tony looks at this like, let me go about this a different way with Chris.
Let me make sure.
Because maybe he doesn't understand exactly what I have in store for him.
He might be a little slower than I thought.
Yeah, man. I'm assuming that he knows this stuff. And if you can't see this, yes, I'm concerned, but also let me make sure I teach you. You should know better than, like you just said, Spike. This is $250 million job. Fuck that fiber optic, bro. We don't need no kind of heat. We need this job to be complete and finished. We're gonna cash out a nice payday. All this little shit on the side, go steal some trucks and shit, like you like to do. I don't give a fuck about none of that.
Yeah.
The site, leave that be. He just don't get it. Like just.
And the fact, like you said, Mo, that he just had to ask that one more question would be the thing. If I were Tony, it would have sent me off. Like, are you not listening to nothing that I'm saying, bro?
Bro, that's when you know. That's when you know, like, all right, bro. The fact that you even got the balls to say that.
The balls, exactly.
Bro, Chris really represents that new age, new generation. These guys that are not really with the omerta, like the code, because he was trying to do scripts. He's trying to act. You know, he's robbing in-house, you know, doing things like this. You're still, like he said, you had meetings with a boss. What did you learn? I learned that you got a hard on for me. Like,
that's a good point.
It's like Chris, he's never locked into what it is. Like he's just,
bro. You're not paying attention to what I'm doing for you. You're not paying attention to the positions that I'm putting you in. You're just playing mobster.
Yeah, he's playing mobster.
You're playing the role of what you think this is supposed to be, when I'm showing you on a day-to-day basis, whether you be my driver, whether I got you sitting in on these meetups or sit downs with this, whether I put you as capo of a crew, you're not taking the time to pay fucking attention to what you're doing. You're just doing it. And that's probably one of the biggest frustrations as a mentor for Tony, talking to Chris, like, bro, I'm giving you the world. Same thing with Carmella and Meadow that we're talking about. I'm literally laying it out for you, bro, because I see the potential in you, but you not paying attention to it.
I could have you fucking shadowing Patsy or Paulie, like you with me.
You and Paulie Jr. could be rolling around.
Yeah, you with me, bro. Like, this is just something you always want to get that game. Soak up that game, bro. Because at some point, I know you want to be somebody. You expressed that, you know, Carmelo not going to be the first lady for forever, all that shit. If somebody gave you a family right now, you wouldn't know what to do with it.
Hot take. Christopher Moltisanti got to actually do what he wanted to do, which was to act. And he's been acting the whole time.
I like where you're going with it. I don't think he's acting, at least not intentionally, like you're saying it. But I like where you're going with that.
He's
definitely acting.
Yeah, that's a good creative pull. I get, like Rich said, where you're going with it. I don't think that registers to him though.
Yeah,
I don't think that he knows that he's acting.
But
he thinks that he's doing what he's supposed to do. Unfortunately, since he's not paying attention, since he is high, since he ain't really locked in like he should be on being a gangster, he doesn't realize that, oh, you just playing a part. You ain't really that nigga like we think you is. Or like Tony think you are. Like Seal and the rest of them, they see straight through that shit. We don't have no attachment to you.
Yeah.
You
out here playing.
Yeah, you ain't giving orders, you taking them.
Yeah.
Boy, the privilege is crazy. We get Ralph and Vito. They play
the most unrealistic scene ever in The Sopranos, all 6 seasons. This is it. These niggas is out here playing ball in loafers, dress shirt.
Bro, he got a pink dress shirt
and they trash.
Why
are they trash?
Without looking at the ball, bro. Rich, what's going on?
You are the movie guy. You're the info. Why does Joey Pants intend to play basketball in film? What is this?
I don't know. That's a great question.
He
did it in Bad Boys. He did it in Bad Boys. I don't know.
That's like, this
dude, Ralphie did this in Bad Boys?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, he the chief in Bad Boys. The first one, you're gonna retire like him too. I want to be like Mike.
Yeah, like bro, you suck.
Yeah, that's a great question. But this shit, the dribbling, this shit make my skin crawl.
Oh my
God. This was one of this is one of the hardest scenes to watch in The Sopranos. You're only going to get this from the black perspective of the good earners, really telling you like a one-on-one game don't even look like this, bro. No. Either we playing 21 and I'm shooting, or me and you playing 36 and you guarding me, like, but it never this.
Bro, this
is one of the most frustrating scenes in The Sopranos.
I wouldn't even have any desire to shoot the ball if I'm wearing dress clothes and shit.
He got, bro, this
he got a sweater tied around his waist.
Yeah, bro. Like what are we doing?
Who hoops like that?
Bro, this outside, like where the fuck are you?
Bro, this is when you hoop after church.
Bro,
like you waiting on your parents to leave and they hanging out.
And your mama gonna get mad at you. Boy, you got them shoes. Why you playing basketball?
Bro, you got your good clothes on.
I wish there was more to this scene almost, because like were y'all just driving and saw the court and the referee just keep the ball in the trunk with him? Like, how did y'all get here? Are y'all waiting for somebody, or you really just wanted to go hoop?
This might be
because that's even more crazy if you wanted to go hoop and still decided to wear that shit.
It didn't have no hooping clothes on. And bro, this was the worst day of Vito's life. Vito didn't want to be here at all.
No,
this is the last thing on earth that Vito wanted to be doing, bro.
That's a fact. It speaks to again Ralphie and this child thing. I want to play basketball. Like,
and I want to play a nigga that I know I can beat.
And I know I can beat.
Like,
this looks like how basketball scenes were shot on like a Grand Theft Auto video game. It's like some like
PlayStation 1.
Like PlayStation, like some Tommy Vercetti, you walking past and you watching the CPU and they're over there hooping. Like that's how this looks, because that shot was terrible, like the fake garden. But nonetheless, he's Ralph is hooping and they're talking about Janice, about her having, he said, curly hair, earthy vibe, and Vito talks about her breasts.
Respect.
Let me ask y'all this: were we ever supposed to get the impression that Vito and Ralph had some extra going on,
bro? Well,
because I ain't even saying this about what we know in the future. I'm just saying that strictly off the stuff in the past. Like, the relationship seems a little weird.
It does, kind of.
Even with us, like, just looking at it, and let's say we erased everything that we know about what's going to happen in the future. It's a weird relationship.
It is a weird relationship. Yeah, it's. I tell you what I think it is. Dang, I can't even, because I don't even want to spoil when.
Don't do it. Don't even do it.
Like I just. All right, never mind.
I probably wouldn't. Yeah,
I'll reach. I have to reach back. I'm gonna reach back. I'm not gonna spoil nothing, but if I'll let Ricks go, and then wherever Ricks go, I know if I'll do it or not.
Nah, I don't got nah.
Nah. Okay, so you will be.
No, I'm not gonna say nothing. But yeah, I can see that. I've never thought about that before now, but I can see it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Okay, so then there you go. So then, if you're saying you can see that, that makes me think there was some prowling happening.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
I think so.
Okay.
I'm even willing to think that Ralph may have been the one that turned him out, and I just leave it at that.
That might be a reach,
I ain't even gonna say no names. Like,
right,
Ralph might have just been the one that turned him out, bro.
We'll revisit that. Like, some people listening right now that never seen him, like, what is he talking about? Like, there's no way this is happening. They're so far from now, but like somebody's listening, like, what?
It was some drunk shit ended just like that night with the stewardess, man. Somebody was ass out with the hat on. It was some wild shit where you wake up the next day and
I'll say this.
You might be right.
Just look how hard it is for Vito to tell Ralph no. From all the scenes up to this.
Yeah.
Like, he has a very hard time at telling Ralph no. Even with this basketball scene, he's like, well, come on, one more time. Little defense, why don't you? The phone scene. Like, there's a lot of times where it's very hard for Vito to tell Ralph no.
You're making a good point. I love these alternate universe concepts. Like, you know.
And I love the fact that you said take away everything else. Even if you take away all that other shit.
It's
like,
still
right.
weird. Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's a little bit, it's something.
It's something.
I don't even want to label it. I just know it's something.
Just know
Hey,
it's something.
there is definitely some scraps in his scrapbook. That's for sure. Oh man, y'all take from that what you will. But Carmela is on a website about bonds, cash, and mutual funds. Carm tells Tony about Meadows' Europe trip, and he's angry now. AJ comes down to ask if she's still on the internet. Bro, this was so nostalgic right here.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, bro, this is so nostalgic. Like, but anyways, I'll let y'all elaborate a little bit more. And so yeah, but what did y'all think about this scene with Carmelo on the little laptop back in the day? Was it 2002, I guess, at this point? And it's a conversation between Tony and Meadow. I mean, Tony and Carmela about Meadow.
Contrasting the Melfi scene, where now, you know, we were just talking about Tony's like, I'm in it because I'm here, but I'm really out of it. Now I'm in it because I just told y'all last season, I'm doing this, that, I'm paying for this house. 50,000. You just asked me to give 50 grand to her school, and she talking about going to Europe and taking a year off. You got me fucked up. Hell nah. Nope. Yeah. Then you go on a party, like you're not really. I think it'd be one thing if Meadow was, even though it's not, you never want to see your daughter sad or, you know, moping around all day. But the fact that you have enough in you to go out and go party, but you ain't got enough in you to go apply yourself to get back on your grind, that's a little frustrating, especially when I'm spending all this money. We started out this season, everybody playing broke. Like, bro, I ain't really got 50,000 right now to be, if you're going to be bullshitting. I can put this to something else. Mm-hmm. Like, your brother will fuck up. Like, nah, we ain't doing this. It's an investment right now to Tony.
Anything else you want to add to that, Spike?
I just hate, again, man, Carmela's disposition this whole episode just bothers me, man. She's going to Europe, your daughter. Like, it's like, give me some more details. Don't just hit me with that when I walk in the door. Like, is it, and even when AJ comes to ask her about the internet, the way she snaps at him, and then it's just, it seems as if, again, I hate to beat on a dead horse, but Carmela just got one speed this episode. Like, she's not really trying to be the motherly,
I remember
womanly
now.
Voice of the house. It's just like, I'm super irritated by Meadow, and I want everybody else to be irritated because I'm irritated. So I'm going to irritate Tony. I'm going to irritate AJ. I'm going to irritate Meadow. Like, because I feel this way, I want everybody in the house to feel this way. That's like what I got from her this whole episode.
It's almost like she's looking at it.
Go ahead. No, you got it.
I was going to say, it's almost like she's looking at herself back in the day. Like, it's like a out of body experience, and she's looking at young Carmela and like trying to tell her, no, like some Ghost of Christmas Past shit.
I did.
Yeah, don't do it. No,
great
please
point.
Go this way. That's exactly what it feels
good
like.
Point. That's a really good point.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. And then you also got to realize too, this is the biggest accomplishment on the line for Carmela. Carmela doesn't have anything else to call an accomplishment, really. The marriage is not successful. She doesn't have anything independently. She did an investment season 2 that didn't pan out. So at this point of the Sopranos, she doesn't really have anything to call her own or to feel accomplished or successful in. So she has a lot riding on Meadow. If Meadow makes it, she goes to college, she does these things. Well, I was her mother. I was the one helping. I was the one, and she needs that. Well, what books are you reading? What she's trying to kind of keep up, because while the vicarious part is in there, you're also my biggest accomplishment. I got to know that all of me being a homemaker means something. And if you're not doing these things, then what am I really here for? What am I even doing? Because we already know what's up with AJ. We barely got him into another school, so I can't even bank on that. But you were supposed to be the one. And if Tony's not going to be around, he don't give a damn. Like, he's not going to be around enough to push you to do what you need to do. So this is kind of my role. So I don't like the one track mind that she has, but when I look at it from those lenses, I kind of think that I need this. I need to feel better about myself.
That's a great pull, Mo. I never looked at it from that perspective either, but you're right. My job as a homemaker, how my kids come out says a lot, because if they both fucked up, then what the fuck was you doing? Like,
And
I think somebody, Spike, I think you said it maybe at the end of season 3 when AJ was getting at all that shit, where Tony, he didn't say it, but he was kind of looking at Carmelo like, what's going on around here? Like, you ain't got control of the grid.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is up?
Yeah.
That's a great point. That's a great point, Mo.
Yeah, man. Right on. I appreciate that, brother. But yeah, so it makes it interesting, but I love when we get a little further down with it. We get Chris and Adriana. Chris says that I owe Tony a lot. Obviously, this is from him moving him to the capo position. Chris says he's getting high, and she said she did some blow at the club earlier. These people just out here just casually doing addictive substances. Like, we just casually, I did some blow earlier. Like, if you're black, your life is, I mean, dog. Anyways, I can't even go there. Like, we're not afforded to just get high and be like, oh yeah, we can just, we're gonna check in somewhere. We're gonna, like, bro, you get high, you're not gonna be Bubbles from The Wire. You're gonna be somebody else that's just stuck, bro. Yeah, but anyway, what did y'all think about this?
Bubbles from The Wire was definitely stuck too, though.
He was stuck too, but he still was the closest thing to functioning, like, I guess.
He's one of my least favorite characters.
They ain't got nothing to do with it. I know he's your least favorite. They ain't got nothing to do with him.
That nigga was a fucking junkie, bro. That's what he was.
Calling somebody a junkie, I don't know why.
What Kennard say about Michael's mama? She a fucking dope fiend.
I don't know why. Calling somebody, I think, you know what? I think about why do fools fall in love. I know that's a deep pull there, but I know
Frankie
definitely.
Lyman?
Yeah, when she was like, Frankie, no, it was I think it was like the white boss or whatever trying to set him up with a gig, and he was high. He's like, Frankie, you're washed up, you're a junkie. Don't call me a junkie. Don't call me a junkie. It's like,
hey, boy, that's curse word in the black world.
Boy, calling somebody a junkie is crazy.
You call somebody a junkie, you better be ready to go to war.
You better be ready. That might be worse than nigga. Like, I ain't gonna even lie.
Sidebar. You know what random word like really pisses me off if somebody described me as that?
What?
And nobody does, but if they did, I'd be really offended. Weird. Like, nigga, you weird. Like, that shit. Like,
yeah, bro. Weird got a lot of layers.
It got a lot of connotation to it. I agree to that too, because I've been called that before. I'd be like, what the fuck? What does that mean?
I know y'all two been called weird. I know y'all blew y'all lid. And let me ask, is strange worse than weird for y'all? Somebody say you strange?
Yeah, strange worse than weird. Because strange means you off.
Strange mean a lot of strange got a lot of other connotations.
Yeah, strange is like you off putting something rub me the wrong way. Weird is just like, oh, I don't really rock with how you think, but I get you. You different. Strange is like you offended me in some type of way.
Yeah, strange means kids are scared of you.
Yeah, strange is like
wow.
You sit in the basement and like you just it's different shit going on.
Wow, I did not see that coming.
Weird
I thought it
is
was
like,
gonna totally be the other way.
Nah, weird is just like you and me don't have the same thought process. It's quirky.
It's just the sound of weird sounds like a lot of other things, and that's why I thought that was going to be a lot worse.
I'd be ready to damn near fight.
Yeah, because there's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be said about words that you don't normally just walk around using the word strange for the most part. You got to actually specifically find that word and apply it to somebody. Like, it's easy to call somebody weird or lame, weird, or whatever the case is, but to dig for the word strange, like, this nigga's strange.
That's
like,
crazy.
What?
I agree with Rich. It's something to be said. Like, if you call me strange, it's like it's some other thoughts going through your mind, and I ain't really.
No, you thought about that before you said.
Yeah, like,
there's a ton of synonyms.
There's a ton of synonyms. Like, strange, nigga. You got me fucked up. What you mean by common synonyms?
I would pay to be a fly on the wall to hear somebody call y'all weird and see y'all reaction. Oh weird my gosh!
I couldn't even imagine.
Because y'all are so. I can't believe you got weird before.
Yeah, I ain't got that.
It was probably about weirdo. They called him that.
That it was. I will say that it was definitely a weirdo. They called me that, but I definitely have gotten weird before.
I guess it probably had to be a significant thing that I would have to see.
And it was also somebody who didn't know, like, that kind of maybe thought they knew me. Like, maybe knew me through observation, through my conversations with another person. Yeah, like, or he dressed this way and I think he's supposed to act this way and he don't. He's way more observant of anything that I thought that he would be. So it's been that type of like weird.
Ah, okay, well,
in that sense, not in the sense of you did some weird shit.
Yeah, I'm sure nobody's ever said nobody of importance, and not saying that nobody's less important than somebody, but somebody's opinion that I really care about.
That's what you mean. That's what you mean. No, just
all lives matter, y'all. Oh,
all lives matter.
Oh.
Public relations.
Affirmative action over here.
Affirmative action over here. Jamal Ginsburg.
I can't wait till we get to one of these parts.
I know.
As I looked up one of the names, I'll wait till we get that.
I can't wait. I know.
You talking about this episode?
Yes.
Talking about this episode?
Yes, it keeps going.
I cannot wait till we get there.
This keeps going. I love this.
I don't know if y'all looked the name up or not.
Hell yeah, I did. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yep.
All right, I can't. Y'all please. See, that's like, bro, y'all please
you
enlighten
know
me.
exactly
I love
who
this.
I'm talking about.
Oh, I know exactly, bro. Patsy, Patsy's funny as fuck, bro.
That's you. Okay, you do know exactly what I'm talking
exactly
about.
what you talk about.
I have no idea, so I can't wait till we get there. I have no idea.
I'm gonna say it when we get there.
Oh man.
Oh shit.
Because it fits so perfect for the scene.
Dude,
the dude that he used for the example.
Once I looked it up in his name, he said, bruh.
Because that's what dude was trying to be. Like,
let's keep going so we can get there. Let's keep going so we can get there. Because it's so funny.
Oh, okay. But Chris says that this is the moment where Chris says that basically he thinks Danielle's into her.
He's a dyke. That's what he said.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's normal vocabulary then. But yeah,
absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, that was definitely normal.
Dyke was nice. That was nice terms.
Was it?
I mean,
back in 2002,
I don't know if it was offensive.
Nobody would bat an eye. Maybe they would. I don't know.
If somebody called you a dyke, it wasn't like, I'm disrespecting you. It was like, okay, you like women.
I think stud is more of in that realm. I think dyke was always
younger
like,
than me.
No, okay. Well, maybe that.
I remember a time when dyke was like, oh, okay, yeah, she.
Okay, because I about to say when we heard that, it was like, huh? Like it was
a lot of wild shit that we used to say back in the day.
No, I absolutely like. We obviously in a different area. For those that are listening, please understand. You know what I mean? But we speaking in that context of 2002 or whatever. But all right, nonetheless, yeah. But he says that he thinks that she's into her. It's crazy. He's like getting there, but then he keeps dropping the ball on what's weird about Danielle. Anything else y'all want to add to that conversation?
Did you peep his verbiage for this conversation and where he got it from?
Yep.
What?
This is the exact same thing that Tony told him at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking. He used the exact same wording, all of it the exact same. Bigger picture, all of these phrases.
We talking about Adriana.
No, yeah, when he said, with all your intelligence, you don't see the bigger picture.
With all your intelligence, you don't see the big. All of that, what Rich just said, all of that, he used everything that Tony had just told him about the bar and the Patsy situation and used that on Adriana, damn near word for word. If you go back and watch it, y'all that are watching it, go back to the scenes, damn near word for word, him talking to Adriana was the same way that Tony was talking to him. I found that fascinating.
Yep. And it was 100% intentional because I think they're driving home the point about the message and the messenger.
Yep.
Tony's qualified to have that conversation. You see the tone. Tony's got the big boy cigar out. Chris is saying this while he's shooting up. Like, bro, I'm not.
Tony is, and that goes to what we were saying. Tony is paying attention. He, like you said, Rich, when he walked in the room and he picked up Ralphie's shoes, some people are born for this. Tony is having this conversation with him on how to make him a better gangster. Christopher is having this conversation with him by being lackadaisical and not as observant as he think he is and thinking that he's smarter than he actually is.
And Spike, it rolls over into the very next scene when he's talking to Patsy. Use your head. It's a $250 million job.
$250 million job. All of that. Exactly.
Let's go right into it. Yeah, like I said, but like this is one of the most memed scenes I've seen. Like I've seen this so many times with Christopher, like with the cigarette, the shades. It's hilarious, bro, because it's like he got the shades on. He know he about to BS. Like he coming in straight capping.
They know he high too.
Oh, I didn't get
Patsy and
that.
them, they know he high. Bro, you got the glasses on. Why you got these glasses on, bro? Like it's just small shit like that. Like we saying when Tony walk in the room and notice Ralphie shoes in the
When would
videotape.
Patsy ever got that Chris get high though?
Why would you be wearing sunglasses in this meeting, bro? Unless you
There's-
were trying to
there's-
hide.
I mean, bro, I'm pretty sure there's wise guys.
It's not.
Nah, bro. Nah, I'm
It's
pretty
not.
sure. Like,
Mo.
but here's what I'm saying. Where does he get the idea that you're getting high?
He
That
probably
typically
already
is
thought
not
it
the.
anyway. Like this is the scuttlebutt amongst them as mobsters. They already know Chris get down. Ain't nobody really just telling Tony this.
Okay,
Like they've seen this out in the field.
Where? When did we get that?
Just
You gotta hold on. One thing was really important, especially for some old heads like Patsy. Like, bro, we saw this in the flashback scene. You know, when they had with Christmas, when Big P and all that, when this nigga was running around, you the one bringing ashtrays to the table. You still a little nigga. I know you just got made and you got this accelerated track. You still a little nigga, bro. Like I knew everything you was doing because we used to talk about you. You weren't made. You was free game for us to talk about you, what we think about you. Oh, he getting high. We brought him over to Italy. He was missing for the whole time. Like you were a joke. I know what you're doing. I've been around long enough. I have that Tony sense where I can observe and pick up on shit. Like, bro, you probably doing exactly like you. There's something you off. Like there's no way you look out of it. The way you hold your cigarette, like you can't even look me in the eye. That's one of the.
Nah, for real, bro.
That's one
like,
of the big
people
things.
pay attention to that
The
shit.
way you
like,
hold your cigarette.
Yeah, like you
I'm looking
holding
at
the
it.
cigarettes like a junkie, bro. I swear to God, Mo.
Holding
you
your
think we
cigarette
being-
like a
bro,
junkie.
You think that we're being funny? That's a real thing, bro. I'm telling you. Like niggas don't smoke like that unless you high.
That's real shit. The
Y'all
mannerisms
y'all
are
have
there.
had
Seen
some
that in
real
real
life
life, bro.
experiences, bro.
I swear to God,
like
bro.
y'all
Like,
are
you be like,
educating the brother.
Some up with dude. And
Yeah,
even
that's
if
why
you
I-
don't know, I would go all the way with you, Mo, and be like, I don't really know if he getting high now, but I know something's off.
Okay.
Something ain't right.
Because he
Like,
said you
niggas
gave
don't
me
really
a
get down like this.
he gave me a look and then he was like, I gave you a look, use your head. like
And listen, and think about this too, Mo. Think about this with the glasses. Think about the nature of this conversation. This is a real conversation. Like this shit got a day. I'm in charge. You've never seen Tony, Seal, Paulie, anybody come to a real ass. You got to look me in my eyes so you can feel me.
Bro,
you got to understand what I'm saying.
Imagine Johnny Sack walking to a conversation with glasses on like this. You wouldn't think something was off.
And a serious meeting.
I just think
Outdoors
I think
is one thing.
And then even take it beyond Johnny Sack.
Outdoorsy,
Imagine anybody else, anyone, Tony, anybody having these glasses on. And this is a great job by David Chase. Like they know us as viewers, we watching this and we know that Chris is high. But they have to go ahead.
No, you're right, but I think that it does tie into the new generational thing because remember when Jackie Jr.
No, bro.
No. Here's what I'm saying. Listen, hold on.
I know he had the hat on.
I'm not.
That's different.
But here's what I'm saying. When Jackie Jr. pulled up on Tony, when he told him about, I'm about to say some things you're not gonna like. He had to take the glasses off, right? Because that's that new era. Like you guys come in with sunglasses on inside of a building and stuff like that. So I think that in this moment, this is kind of the same things. Like, oh, you new cats. Like when Junior said, like, oh, you guys are gonna get buried in your tracksuits because they rather wear tracksuits than regular suits. So I think in this moment, sure, you're right. Something could be off. Maybe think he high, maybe not. But I'm just saying in that sense. But this is definitely not a normal thing. But again, we're at the end concept that it could become normal. We could start seeing younger wise guys doing things like this.
There's certain things that are just code and just law. Like you don't come into a meeting. Think about how strict they are on the little bylaws and everything they go by. You don't come in a meeting, especially one that you're running with your glasses on, bro. That you just don't do that. Same way a Don doesn't wear shorts. You don't. This ain't no cool casual. This ain't about generation. This is about our thing.
Yeah,
like, there are rules and standards. Like you're not. I'm surprised Patsy didn't say you're not about to sit here and scold me with your fucking sunglasses on. Like I'm not worthy enough to be looked into your eyes. Like you're greater than that.
And again, that goes to Seal's problem and Patsy's problem. You're not doing this thing right. Like, bro, I know something is up. I can tell, but you trying to act like it ain't, and that's what's making me respect you even less.
Hey, Mo, American gangster, take the sunglasses off. Take the goddamn sunglasses off. Like this shit ain't what you think this is, bro.
Yeah.
Like we live, their shit is going a certain way. Like, don't bring none of that clown shit. You want to be like Nikki Barnes? Hell nah. We run things a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like, I don't care what you do. And even if it wasn't him being high, we can move on to the next thing. Like we said, it don't even got to be that. We just know something up. You could have got a black eye. You could have got into it with your girl, got into a fight somewhere on the street, whatever it is. Like, the glasses are hiding something because that's out the norm.
Why do you have these glasses, bro?
Yeah, right. But little Paulie says, okay, it won't happen again, Christopher. And Patsy like, bro,
you talking out of turn.
Because that's the second time. That's the second time he did
to
that.
observe, my nigga. Yeah, like shut up. Ain't no apologizing. Like you my underling, bro. Like stop doing that.
Little Patsy's an interesting character. I just never know. I just got so many questions about it, but I don't have to spend that time at this moment to ask questions.
It's just like Chris, man. Nepotism, bro. Just like Chris.
Yep.
Okay.
I ain't had shit else going on with my life, so I figured I'd get in my uncle's business.
Why be in the crew? Why be a gangster?
Yeah, man. I don't love this shit like Paulie. He don't love that shit like Paulie love it.
Nah.
Right.
You think little Paulie sitting in Youngstown just chilling, waiting on somebody to get him? Hell nah. He's doing some shit. Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, he telling
Lil
these
Paulie
new cats.
told everybody.
Yeah, he definitely.
Right. Getting his Tim Allen on.
The callback. The Culture Garden references. Y'all go subscribe to Culture Garden, man. They cold over there.
Appreciate you, brother.
The Soprano house. They talk with Meadow. They're going back and forth again about trying to hold her back from this Europe trip and bringing up the therapy thing. There's this moment that Tony kind of blanks out for a moment before he kind of reacts. What do y'all think that was going through Tony's head at this moment? Because it was a very interesting, like, how they kind of muffled his thoughts and the volume of them talking.
I don't got time for this bullshit, and I'm gonna call your bluff.
Okay.
Yeah. You ain't going like to.
You want to go to Europe? You think you can? You think you can survive? You're gonna be able to get a work visa and have money and be safe without me right here by you, knowing how much did I do for you right now? You can't even, like, early in this episode, they were talking about buying her socks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, let's be for real. Like, you're not going to another continent and being able to survive. You're not about that life.
Mm-hmm.
And if Carmela had a fell in line and understood what he was doing, they would have understood a lot earlier that you're not going anywhere, bro.
Yeah. And if she do, let that be the lesson. Let her go to
Europe.
And if you do go, she be trying to figure it out. Back.
Figure it out. If you do go, figure it out.
Sometimes you gotta let them bite the bullet, bro. That's just the reality.
Yeah.
We go to Meadow at the therapy scene, and did Meadow actually tell this therapist?
Hold on, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Just a brief moment of Tony talking. This is going back to the whole Carmela living through Meadow. When Tony mentions, maybe she can meet a boy, an Italian boy, somebody wrong. And then he mentions Furio, and Carmela just kind of freezes up. That's another example. Like, damn, if I'm Meadow, I see myself being that, finding somebody like Furio because I'm really got the hots for him. Like, I think that's a very important piece.
I'm so glad you stopped me and pulled that back, because that was a subtle thing that needed to be pulled. I forgot about that. I'm glad you brought that. That was fire.
No doubt.
But Meadow at the therapy session, I wanted to ask, did Meadow actually tell the therapist that Jackie Sr. was in the mafia? Or was this something else? Because it's like the way the therapist is kind of coming at her. It's really weird in moments, and it's some funny moments. It's not supposed to be funny, but it's funny to me. I guess overall, what did y'all think about this session with her therapist?
Very opposite from Carmela, as far as that therapist was very direct with her, gave her directive on, if you really want to change this, these are the steps that you need to take right now, versus Meadow and this lady being very lackadaisical with her, very open to her ideas, like really giving her the area to explore in hopes that she could find more, versus telling her what to do. I think she's taking a really good approach for someone like Meadow, but I also appreciated how smart Meadow is in the situation too. Like, bitch, I see what you're doing. I ain't finna give you just all the information that you're looking for right now. Just give me what I need to help me be better with this, similar to like what Tony does with Dr. Melfi, and then let me figure it out from there. I love that this put her in a parallel with Tony versus anything else.
Yep. Yep. The biggest issue I had was that it's cool to embrace and encourage your individualism and trying things out and exploring things in your own life, but there needs to be some balance and some counter to it. You know what I mean? You can do that, but this is what you're risking on the other end. Or you can do this and this is what you're risking. Give the options. Don't just, she just strictly was, it's almost like she was just letting Meadow know, like she was telling Meadow whatever she wanted to hear. Like Meadow was looking for permission, the same way Tony does a lot from Melfi. He's looking for confirmation of what I'm doing is right. But except the only thing is this therapist is not, she's not into it. I don't know. It's almost like she's used to talking to kids because she doesn't have that, she doesn't know how to build a natural connection. So she tries to be the cool mom, almost, like the cool therapist. The fact that you don't push back at all.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was, I don't know where the whole question about Tony, and I guess I'm more so, I don't think so, I think was the answer. I don't know. I don't know where the show was trying to go with that.
I think this therapist is I think this therapist is off. I think
She seems like it.
Because I'm just gonna jump out there. Like I'm wild with the take, but I definitely just think that this therapist is on some, like, she definitely comes off like Secret Ring type deal to me. Like I don't think that's what they were going for, but it came off like that to me.
Why is she asking how did your dad react when he heard Jack got? What does that have to do with anything?
That's what I'm saying. At first it came off like you're fishing. And then when she got down to the asking the questions, like, did your dad, did your mom? And then she was like, well, I can refer you to, Barcelona, and I'm a consultant. And then, like, you're in the couch in the same position with your legs on the side, kind of, just in that kid relaxed, style, just like Meadow. It really came off to me in some weird energy from her to me.
I think was, for me, to your point, Mo, the biggest thing for me is I don't know how she got there. The therapist, I don't know how she got there. It's cool that there was something, and maybe somebody's listening that can correct me or point me in the right direction. It's cool if you're picking up on context clues and you feel at a point, because we see Dr. Melfi do that a lot. Like, reach a point where with all the information you gave me, I have to ask you this question. I don't feel like Meadow did anything or alluded to anything for that question to be warranted.
Not at all.
Maybe I'm just missing something that goes on with adolescent. Well, she's not even adolescent, but I don't know. It's just the therapist.
No, you're right. You're right on it, bro. Because it was nothing. Yeah. It's like leading the witness. Like, there was nothing that was.
Yeah, like, where are you going? If I'm Meadow, you see Meadow's face, like, what? No, like, what the fuck?
I thought maybe it was meant to show that she wasn't as good as Melfi.
That could be it too.
Then that's when they addressed it later, when Tony and Carmelo was talking about, he's like, I could choke Dr. Melfi for sending Meadow to this, for lack of a better word, hack, and telling her that it's okay to do these things that she's thinking about, versus giving her like valid thoughts to go with it. So I think that was it.
Fair enough. We get Tony and Silvio, and Sil brings up that Patsy feels overlooked. Tony don't really entertain it. He just kind of laughs it off. And that's kind of it for the scene. Anything y'all want to add to that?
Just more of what we already knew. Like, Sil has an issue. Like, I don't ever question you, bro, but what's up? Like, and I have to let you know what I was just like I was saying earlier about Paulie. If this is going to be a real thing, a real family, real trust, I can't just be here for the good times. I got to let you know when shit ain't going right. Listen, one of your dogs, one of your soldiers, man, he feels like he was overlooked. I got to bring this to your attention. Do with it what you may, but I want you to be aware so there's no underling, no griping, Ralphie's situation when Ralphie was overlooked. I'm bringing this to you. Like, this is my job. I'm going to continue to do my job, even if I disagree.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not sure if Tony did a good job in leadership right here, as far as weeding out. Like, bro, what are you really trying to tell me? Tony was too caught up in other shit that was going on, reading whatever bullshit he was reading, but he really never got to the bottom of what Seal was trying to say, and he never really explored it either. Like, he kept making marginalized, like making little of what Seal was putting in front of him. And I think Seal was being a lot more serious than Tony was in the conversation. And that's where the disconnect came. Seal was like,
I was just about to say, I think we all had to pay attention. Yes, Patsy's the avatar, but I'm speaking for myself too.
I'm talking about me. Exactly. I'm trying to figure out all of this shit that's going down. You ain't really being forthcoming with me. Like, give me an idea of where I should feel like I stand right now. And Tony didn't really give him that idea.
Yep. Because he couldn't really. Because he already,
He
like
could.
you said.
He just wasn't paying attention, like we were talking about with Chrissy. Like, as a leader, you have to pay attention to these type of conversations when your subordinates are talking to you. Like, it's not that I'm talking about Chris or I'm talking about Patsy. I'm really trying to get an overall view of the organization and what's going on right now. And Tony didn't pick up on that.
I do think that the conversation he had with Melfi about kind of like insulating himself, keeping it in family so he can have that third option, not to be dead or in jail. I think that this is a part of it. I have to keep people. I got to keep people out of the loop. So that's why I say he couldn't say this is what I'm doing. If I move him capo and then eventually,
and remember, that's something new for Seal though.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's new. I don't understand what you're doing right now. So naturally, me not understanding as a gangster, I want to take the proper steps to make sure that I'm taken care of, which is why we see the stuff that we see in the rest of this episode. But yeah, I totally agree with you. This is him putting that into play. It's just not a good job as a leader for him to be like, hey, this is what I'm doing, and you should understand this is my number 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he definitely, but he did right though. I do think that Tony did right. I can't tell you that because what I'm trying to do, it's a selfish thing.
I don't know if I think he did right though.
I mean, maybe he could have lied his way through it.
Nah, you just got to be more upfront with Seal. Like, you can't leave him wondering like that, because this is, again, in the world that they're in, this is a gangster too. So if I leave another gangster wondering where he stands, now I got to worry about the type of actions that they'll take against me if we ain't all aligned on the same page. I do have to give you enough leeway or enough understanding to be like, it ain't what you think it is. So I do think that is a bad job in leadership by Tony not to address what he's feeling from Seal, or not even to understand that Seal is presenting this to him, because he really wasn't paying attention.
Okay,
it's nothing.
I agree.
I was gonna say it's nothing for Tony to say, look, man, here's what's going on.
Facts.
I gotta see what's going on with the kid. I gotta throw him in the fire. I have an idea what he could be. I want to see how he handles more responsibility.
Exactly.
I did not want to bring this to you, Seal, because I would get your opinion. You might talk me out of it. This is something I had to figure out for myself. I'm the boss of this family. That's what's going on with it. Mm-hmm. You're a valued asset. You can never be replaced. This has nothing to do with you or your leadership or you being my number 2. This is about setting up this thing of ours for the future. There's nothing wrong with Tony just saying that.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And Tony can very well end that with, respectfully, this is the last time we're going to talk about this until I feel like it needs to be brought up again. Mm. He has no problem with telling anybody else that. Don't question my leadership. This is what's going on.
That's a great point.
Things are changing a little bit. It's not going to affect you, but it is going to affect the communication we have.
Y'all both killing that. Y'all both killed that, man. Yeah, I agree. I think that even if it's like, I'm not giving you the whole details, but like, I can at least, like you said, in so many words, comfort the decision. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's your job. That's your job as a leader. I think a lot of people fail in leadership because they don't do their job as a leader, thinking, I don't have to relay information or communicate with my team in the sense of, I got this information. I just let them think. No, bro, you have to make sure that you're communicating correctly with your team as a leader. Flat out bottom line.
Okay. Yeah. We go to the crazy horse. Chris, Adriana, and Danielle are in the back. Hey man, did y'all know Chris can rap? He says that
man.
he says, man, I could be the lead singer. That's
They
Figure out a way to slide this racist shit in the area.
yeah. What's the lies of Rich, man?
my bitch, my hoe, my bitch.
Can't be that hard to do, right?
That is hilarious, bro. Goodness gracious. Oh man.
That's all these niggas talk about. That's pretty much what he said. That's all these niggas talk about anyway.
Pretty much, other than sneakers and collard greens.
That shit wild, man. That shit silly.
The collard greens was crazy.
Yeah, that was a crazy, like top.
Because it be how because Tony don't even be laughing.
Nah, I'm not laughing, bro. I mean this. Like I really believe y'all do that. Like that's who y'all are in my head.
That's 100% for real, yeah.
But they get in this. I'll let y'all respond to like the scene, but like they get in this argument. And Chris is trying to set up a play, like which he's clearly high. Which I honestly thought he would have set up something earlier than this because I mean obviously she's an attractive woman, but he tries to set up like, oh, I'm over here, but I'm over here too. He's trying to set up the 3-peat, and it ain't happening. And she moves his hand off, and she's going on, and you know,
I'm right here kissing on my girl, trying to get it moving forward. Why are you even still sitting here? Straight if you ain't about that life. Like if you ain't trying to join in, why didn't you leave? Why didn't like?
Hopefully they manage before I reach my garage. I mean, like straight up, because if you, that's mad. Because it's not like hey, you know, I got my arm around my girl. You know, I'm happy to be with you. Like this is the green light. This shit's about to go down. We might fuck right here on this couch.
Yes, we all.
I don't care if you're sitting there or not. You can sit here and watch us do it, or you can join in. But if you ain't with it, if you ain't getting up right away, then listen. I want to say this very loud and clear. Very loud and clear. Because consent is everything. Make sure you get consent. But in somebody in Chris's condition, and the way he's thinking to himself, if you're not leaving, that means you down.
Yes. And
she was a little slow to put the hand off.
Yeah, and I'm Christopher, dude. Like I'm thinking that this shit this happens for me. Like I think that she's a dyke. My girl is fine. They've been talking together for this whatever amount of time. Like I think that I can pull this off. Why wouldn't I be able to?
Yeah.
That nigga was like, what? He was
like, bro. Oh man,
a classic nigga response.
Like, I was trying to say something positive. You said she had a great, like, bro.
Yeah, that's your friend. I was trying to say something positive. Niggas be saying anything.
That's the dumbest line I ever heard from.
Nice ass.
And then he didn't even say it in this moment. It was an earlier moment about that. That's what made it funny because Adriana, as a woman, still remembered that he said that. It wasn't even this moment when he said she, you know what I mean? And so it's funny she brought up, you said, like, she's your friend. I was trying to say something positive, but like.
What, you thought you was going to fuck the both of us? You and those fucking videos.
That's what I thought. That is exactly what I thought.
I'd be all the way. That's exact. I'll be honest. I don't think Adriana, like, I feel like she acting brand new. I promise you, I feel like she acting brand new.
In the sense of what?
I just feel like she acting like
she gotta act that way though, because Gail.
Okay, that's why I'm like, you had the two magicians. Like,
I'm about to say, I'm surprised Chris ain't bringing that up. You blowing magicians in the bathroom, and you mad at me for trying to get it on?
Roadies.
If Gail had went with it, he would have went with it. Like she would have went with it. Everybody would have been good if the Fed bitch had went with it.
Yeah, and which is why I think I said she should have. This operation could have lasted longer if she had
went with it. Yeah,
she went with. She didn't have to go all the way, but I think enough more leaning to the T's, kind of keeping him interested. I got more ideas of how I feel like she could have done it, but it speaks to, again, she worked from a desk to going undercover.
You would have had the ups on me if she had went with it. I ain't gonna lie. If I was Chris
Oh yeah, no,
and she had went all the way through with the
for
deal,
sure.
like she would have definitely had the
Yeah, I was like, oh,
episode.
she
I would have
down
been
for.
a lot more
Bro,
open for her to come
Chris.
around.
Oh
if she had
yeah,
went with it.
yeah. She would find the receipts and all kind of
Oh,
stuff.
facts.
Like, yeah, stay
Yeah.
as long as you want. Yeah,
Chris-
you
I'm
good.
open.
Chris-
Yeah, come on over to the crib.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
come
we
on.
can get some.
Hey,
Big facts,
Chris
bro.
said
Ain't no cap on that.
she took my hand, started rubbing on herself. She telling me where she buys her panties and shit.
Her
Like,
leather
Chris
pants.
Stop
Chris
playing
was
with
out.
me. Stop
Yeah,
playing with me, man.
Her pants, her fucking underwear and shit. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I ain't
Like,
got to do
What
it.
am I
just-
supposed to think? I ain't
it-
got time to go through all this shit. What am I supposed to think?
It's
He said, "Bride like her a fucking snake."
Oh man.
I was trying to say something positive.
He was backpedaling out of this, bro.
Like,
He
Hey,
was
it
like,
goes to
"Nah,
show
man,
though
you
how
ain't about to
gullible
put this on me."
Adriana is though. I think they did a great job in writing this scene and this episode as far as not only are the Fed agents manipulating her, but Christopher is. Like she just has no clue or no grasp of the depth that she's in with any one of these worlds.
I know I hate it because Adriana is she just gives off the dumb blonde stereotype.
Yeah, that's what she's
You know what I
giving
mean?
off heavy right now.
And it's like, dang, you could be slick, like know what's up and be very attractive like that and be edgy and street a little bit. But I mean, it makes for obviously for the what
She
happens
ain't
and
got
everything.
no rock in her. If she had a
said-
little bit of rock in her, if she had
Yeah,
like
a little
10%
bit of
of rock in her, man, she'll be a veteran in this world.
Legit. I mean, some Angie in her or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, we get Patsy and Silvio. Silvio calls an audible on the tiles, and Tony didn't sanction it. And he said, "Go ahead, move forward on it." This is always a very interesting. Like, nah, go ahead and do this because this is outside of Silvio's character. Okay, can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
What's up? I can.
Can you hear him, Rich?
Yeah. I
can.
can hear you too.
You still can't hear me? Okay.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It went
Okay.
out for a second.
But yeah, Silvio, he pretty much tells us like, nah, man, forget that. Like, go ahead and do that. We can elaborate here, or we can elaborate further down. Which I want to do.
I think it's just important to just mention that after talking with Tony, Sills come to the realization, like, all right, we're looking out for ourselves and fuck it. That's what we're doing.
You think that's where he was at?
Absolutely. 100%. He's never, it's almost like the end of an era. Like, I see the future. It's the liquidations coming. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
The bust downs coming. I'm about to milk this shit for all it's worth if this is what it's gonna be. If this is how Tony's on it, then I'm just gonna milk it and get mine. I might have an early retirement. Because I'm never going outside of what we do. I'm never going outside the family and our thing. I'm never probably disobeyed a boss like this, especially deliberately. But you know what? And it's another important part to think. Sil wants to test his reach. When you look at the last scene between him and Tony in his basement, this is Sil's trying to test the water. When he asked him deliberately, is this a hanging offense or not? He wants to see what can I still get away with. If you letting Chris get all this leeway, let me see what I can pull off.
I didn't get that one. That was boy. Where you come from with that, boy? That was crazy.
Because he's right. Like Sil isn't deliberately trying to disrespect Tony here. I'm feeling what I'm doing is different from what Chris is doing. Is I'm paying attention to the whole chessboard. So if I make this move, what are the repercussions of it? And then what do I got set up beyond this to happen to make sure that I'm cool? Sil is playing chess still here. And I love the way that he presented it to like okay, let's run it. I ain't gonna pass up on no free money. And I know that I got a good enough relationship with Tony that I can figure this shit out on the back end. So yeah, go do it.
Wow. I never looked at it that way. That's a new one.
How'd you look at it?
I just thought that Seal, it was just something that he took really personal. I thought that he took it really personal, kind of like what we'll get into the next episode. But I think y'all point is probably the more accurate point. It makes a lot more sense actually. Because Seal, I told you he has a great ability to compartmentalize in this thing of theirs. But I think y'all right. I think it's like, oh, that's what we're doing. All right, cool. And if we're gonna all be moving for self, then let me go ahead and get this off. So I agree with y'all.
And most important, like I said, go ahead, Spike.
I was gonna say, not only am I moving for self, but I also have a back channel move set up. So if it looks like I'm moving for self, I can explain it where you don't look at me like a complete traitor. And we seen that in the basement scene later.
Mm-hmm.
Like Seal is and this is why I love his character. He's an OG.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't just give Patsy this move on the sense of, okay, we'll figure it out once you do it and what's happening. He's thinking about it in the sense of, I'm going to do this. This is what's going to happen. And then when Tony comes to me with it, this is what I'm going to tell him. He's 4-5 steps ahead. And that goes to the brilliance of his character. Like, now he's not better than Tony in the sense of leading the mob series or leading the mob family, but he does have more thought process in the sense of being a number two, where like I looked at the chessboard a little bit differently than you did and got these outputs versus your outputs.
And Seal has built up years and years and years of good faith.
Yes.
Years of good faith. To where if you did ask me and I told you it was a miscommunication,
it's a miscommunication.
You got to take my word for it. No different. If you believe in that Pussy's going to his Gumar's mom's, rushing her to the hospital, if you're going to believe that, then you got to believe the fact that
for 2 years.
The timeline got messed up. Of course I wouldn't deliberately. And if you told me, you got to believe that. Seal would never do that. Like, Seal would never do those shit like that. A lot of people would. Paulie maybe, but not Seal. He's earned that. So that's why. That's another reason why Seal can pull this off.
That's a fantastic point right there.
Yeah, he got 850 credit.
I have the leeway to be able to do this. Yeah. I ain't Chris. I ain't now one of these little niggas. Even if I did fuck up, okay. All right, I got this.
Yeah, you know it was a mistake. There's certain people you ain't got. I'm gonna my bad. There's people in life that just, you know what, before you even say that, my bad, I got you next time.
And you respect that. People. And you respect that out of them because you know what type of person they are.
Think about what Tony's going through this entire episode. Everybody's problems coming to him. Whether it's Meadow and Carmella, everybody. Tony's tired of that shit. It's important for Tony to have somebody like Seal to where even if shit go bad, I don't have to pull you to the side to have a real conversation. I know you're going to get that shit corrected and I can move on to my next thing.
Yeah. We get Janice and Tony. I'm gonna run through a few of these scenes because they're all kind of short. And y'all can react to wherever y'all stood out to y'all. Janice and Tony. Randomly, Janice is just there in the morning of their household, and they're going back and forth about who she's dating. Danielle and her husband. She gets a phone call from Adriana, and Adriana pretty much scorns her by saying, "I don't want to talk to you. Don't call here no more." For you know, touching on my fiance or whatever.
Call me no more. Don't text me no more.
Danielle, and then we get a FBI scene or whatnot. But before I get there, is there anything I want to add to the Janice and Tony or the Danielle phone call with Adriana?
I think it was interesting how off Janice was about how Tony was feeling about Ralph. Like, she really thought that he was hating. She really thought that it was like some, oh, I don't want you to be happy shit. And Tony was really on some like, bro, like, dude is a piece of shit. And I don't know how many different ways I would have to tell you this, but me being your brother and someone that you've known forever, like when he pulled up, he like, I know dude. I know him. And this is not what you want. And I really think it was a good job by Tony, like just nailing that home.
Great point, Spike. And let me just double down by saying, I have every right to ask about if you were dating, because he said it. Your last boyfriend, I had to drag out in a hefty bag. You feel me? Like, don't turn your nose up like that didn't happen. I didn't get rid of Ralph. You did. And I cleaned it up for you.
Richie.
Richie, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Richie. Like, I cleaned that up for you. Like, stop the bullshit, bro. How dare you turn your nose up at me because I'm asking how your love life going? Because do I have to be prepared for some bullshit? Because
Are you gonna kill this nigga too?
To Spike's point, I know this is the type of nigga that you could probably kill too.
You might kill him too. Yeah.
He will take you there because he ain't shit. And I ain't never said shit about none of your weak ass, weird ass boyfriends. So why do you think I'm just? Why do you think I? Yeah. So why do you think I care about Ralphie? Like there's nothing about me that wants to be Ralphie. I'm just letting you know from experience. This dude ain't shit. I didn't see him kill a woman with his bare hands.
And you my sister. Person.
I mean, maybe it's a sister style. She wow. But Adriana, like, this is crazy. Like, just the fact that like you're like, oh, don't ever call here again, and this and that, and that's.
I think it speaks to your point though, Mo. 4 months, 5 months of work though. 5 months she's been putting in work. You said it was just in and out. Boom, she gone. It's 5 months of work.
3 episodes.
5 months of work though.
4 months.
5.
Okay, I'll give you 5. I think they said 4, but we'll give you 5. The Spike Lee meter is 5.
I'm looking at it right now. It's 5 months of work.
Oh, you're right. It is on my 5 months. You're right.
Yeah.
But look, that's 3 episodes. That's how short.
We don't take it in the sense of an episode. We take it in the sense of the world of Tony Soprano, like you said. Think how often in the 5-month period, if Adriana really feels like this girl is her friend, that they talk, that they're doing dinner dates, coffee dates, they're around each other. So in a 5-month span, I know what you're saying as far as she had this grand opening, grand closing for a character, but I do think they set it up in a great way in the sense of, it's been 5 months. Like she got as much as she could get from it.
This is cheap. We love this show. It's to me, it's still
this.
Yeah, it's still to me the best show ever. I know for y'all, The Wire or whatever y'all have, but this is cheap to me. They're not above criticism. Nobody is. This is cheap to me. Yeah, I used Danielle for 3 episodes. It's almost like the writers said, "Oh, this would be a great angle. Oh, yeah, there it is." And they're like, "Oh, you know what? Let's do something else. So let's go ahead and write her out, and then let's take this route." It feels very cheap to me to say, "Oh, she's been doing it for 5 months," when we've seen her for 3 episodes. Their relationship don't feel like 5 months. I just feel like this was really
2 seasons though.
It ain't 2 seasons. It's the last episode of season 3.
Right.
The
so
first
we expect a couple months pass from season to season.
Yeah, it just feels cheap to me because with Big P, I get it, he's a different character, but like with P, they drawn it out more. To me, I just feel like it's a missed opportunity. I feel like
I think that. So you bringing up P just made me realize something. The feds went into this, and you can even tell when they bring Aid in, which I'm not going to fast forward too much, but they know they're not going to get much from Adriana anyway. Like, you're not even close enough to have some real info. Maybe Chris might babble some shit, and maybe Danielle can witness a couple things, but on the low, we're not going to get any big fish. You know what I mean? You're not going to get Tony. You're not going to get any of that. So I think that they didn't feel like they needed to spend a whole season getting into Danielle and Aid because it wasn't going to lead anywhere anyway. Like, at what point think about what they actually get Adriana on. You get what I'm saying? That still doesn't happen until Matoush comes into play.
Charges on her right now, exactly.
Yeah, they don't even have it, and they tell her, like, how often have you seen this in TV where they bring someone in and say, you don't have to testify, you don't have to wear wire. Normally, all that shit's required. Like, we got you, we need your help. Like, nah, because we know you ain't going to give us shit no way. But if you see something going on, if you hear about a little meeting, come bring that to us because we know that you are green enough to fall for this possession shit. And they played it perfectly. even if you did say, I'm going to take the years, I'm going to take the charge or whatever the case is, explain to Tony how you had an undercover fed in your life for the past 5 months. I don't think it would have added much to the story. Now, to your benefit, Mo, I also do think that they probably rushed it a little bit just because of the information we gave about Danielle being played by a different actress, and now it's supposed to be a one-time thing. So we know in real time they decided to add her character back for a few more episodes. So the fact that they did that lets me know that this was the plan the whole time. Like, if we knew that we didn't want you for just one episode, then we have the freedom now to add you for as long as we want to. Yep. And I think it tied into like, look, we're not going to get anywhere with this, and it's realistic that we're not. So let's bring in the big dogs and really figure out what's next. And Adriana was the perfect person for that. That's the only person you can really bring in and have her be gullible enough to believe any type of bullshit. Because we really don't care about Danielle and Abe. Like, we got everything we needed from the relationship in this episode.
But here's what would have been fire, though. Like the fact that when y'all brought Danielle to the Soprano household and Tony and her had a little bit of a look, whatever, how interesting would it have been if she would have became Tony's next Gumar?
But she wouldn't have done that. She's not Jay Reed. Yeah, she's not Jay Reed, bro.
I mean, I guess she's not Jay Reed, but let's say
into that life like that, bro.
Okay, but
she's into that life in the sense of, I want A to admit to me that she got problems with OBGYN or whatever it may be. She ain't into the life like Jay Reed, like Rich just said. Oh, I'm gonna fuck Tony to make sure that I really make this case close home.
I know
that. In that life like that.
I know, because I mean, but what I'm saying is, like, let's say they put the pressure on, like, hey, look, you want to make your bones, like the FBI, like, we need you. I'm not necessarily saying like, oh, she right out rip do that, but like, look, we need you to. This is the way we're gonna get. Now it might die on the vine.
That's a crazy HR violation. You tell her to go fuck Tony for information.
That's not what I'm saying. I didn't even say those words.
Even about that life.
I didn't even say those words.
My bad.
Like, I think that the thing that we're supposed to understand from her, even with her presentation in the FBI field, is that she's a novice, bro. She ain't the dude who follows up with Tony eating the sandwiches and getting the information with him about the 9/11 victims. She's not that. She's a novice. She did great to get where she got with Adriana, and that's as far as a person like her can go.
That's a great point. Remember, they pulled her off the desk off a random whim. Right. We was having a meeting.
She's random for her.
But what I'm saying is, I just don't think. Don't introduce her to the Soprano household. That's me. Like, to me, because you're dangling
though. Think about how random that is, though. Adriana was going to pick up some random ass gift item for some party that they was having.
But think about it.
I got my homegirl with me.
You don't even need that
scene. Tony Soprano's house.
That scene changes nothing, though.
It changes nothing. You're right.
You know
However, it does present the observation that maybe her and Tony may have something going on. I think that there's a lot of possibilities that came from that scene versus not having the scene and thinking, oh, well, nothing happens here. No.
Yeah, I just think that's just gonna always be one of those gripes for me with the Sopranos, where it's like, I just definitely feel like I think y'all both make good points. I think Rich made a great point of like, it's gonna be a one-off thing. But I again, where they were going season 3 with the bug, and then rest in peace Nancy Marchand, things changed. They got away from that. Okay, cool. So when y'all brought another presentation of Danielle, I thought that would have been so much that she works her way all the way up to this, and she could have been a federal.
She didn't have the capability to do that, though.
But here's what I'm saying, bro. They could have wrote in that way where you're a federal agent, you're a rookie, but now you've kind of struck lightning with getting close to Tony. You're not going to get the info, but you're getting close, and you're trying to figure out how to, because they keep showing us this home life with her husband and the baby. So think about how much more interesting it would have been. She almost getting close to Tony. They're kind of now doing the thing, and she's having a Jay Reed experience. Like, it would have been more interesting. Now she ended up, for whatever reason, it don't pan out. It dies on the vine. But that would have been more interesting to me. But the fact that y'all, I don't like how they did this character. Like, to me,
you're absolutely right, Mo. It would have been interesting to watch to some degree. But here's the biggest thing: you're not pulling off that shit with Tony. Tony would have been ASAP. Like, who the fuck is this?
Thank you.
I can see you have to come pick this up. Your homegirl with you, little chance encounter. That's one thing. But if she gonna be around the crib, and you ain't got no dude, you ain't dating nobody in the life. Like, who are you? What you doing? Like, what you know about her?
She could have been
Tony's
next
antennas
Gloria.
would have been.
But
how did you even get around?
But look at Gloria. She not dating nobody in life.
But Tony, but that's dangerous, man. I'm not about to be fucking Chris's girl's friend. Like, that's too messy. That can lead me right back here.
She's an FBI agent. The life is dangerous the minute you go to the academy.
No, I'm talking about for Tony. I'm talking about it's dangerous for Tony. Like, why would Tony even risk that? Like, you too close. Like, no matter how horny Tony is, there's certain people he just can't be that close with. Even though we see him do certain fuck shit.
Yeah. That we text about.
I'm not saying Tony's above it, but also, like, yo, I think that he would, even when he gets into that, that's an established relationship. You know what I mean? He knows about that person. He knows information about. I know that you not with the feds or none of this shit. You just some random chick that dropped out the sky. That's red flags all over the place. Like, I'm not gonna let you around, let alone being caught in was you being my Gumar. I just don't think that would have been. Danielle would have never penetrated that. She could barely handle Aid, and Aid is the easiest person to manipulate. Like, Aid was enough. Adriana had enough in her to say, "Stop calling me." Like, you ain't getting that off with Tony. So I think that if you build all of that up, it's gonna lead to the same dead end that we get now.
But it would have been more interesting.
Maybe
to some degree.
That's all I'm saying is they could have made it more interesting. This, to me, it's.
But it would have been unrealistic, though.
I don't agree.
It would have been unrealistic. Like, the way that we look at Tony Soprano and in the thought process that we think that he has about the overall thing and the mob that he does, it wouldn't have been realistic for her to be able to get closer. He's too careful for that.
For real.
It don't work that way.
I just don't see it. I just don't see it,
like,
Tony.
I don't even want y'all talking to me in cars. Like, I don't even want to talk to people when they come to my house. We got to go to the basement and make sure the vents cut on and whatever it may be to make sure that y'all not getting the right information that y'all need. For her to be able to infiltrate Tony Soprano's organization just by, I'm cool with Aid, and now I'm cool with Aid, and now I'm fucking her, and I'm Tony Soprano. Like, no, bro, it don't work. Tony ain't that vulnerable.
I think he's vulnerable to some coups, but
I think you could probably
it got to be some good, well-off coups.
I think the show is I think the show is capable of writing a reputable storyline for that character, maybe until episode 5 or 6. I agree with you to that point, but I don't think it's something that needed to be stretched out too long. I'm perfectly okay with it being like this. But I understand 100% your question of, like, this season we could have still got the same shit without even introducing that character. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm saying. Because it's like, I was about to take it somewhere.
Because,
I ain't take it that way.
Because
I was about to take it somewhere, but.
And maybe this is part of it, man. I've seen this countless times. Maybe because I know when that other foot when they really have some leverage on her. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the perfect way to make me even disregard. I don't even think about this shit no more once we get to that. I mean, that's why I'm probably disregarding this. Like, it is what it is. And like Spice said, we pulled you off the fucking desk. Like, you actually did an admirable job for what you know.
Yeah, it's just like, it seemed like in the break between 3 and 4, they just, like I said, because even then they got away from the fluffy hair. Like, it seemed like they just got away from it. It's like, we changed our mind. Erase. This is what we're gonna do now. And it's not hidden well to me.
I can respect that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's just not hidden well.
They pivoted on a character, and you thinking, it didn't go as deep as I thought it was going to go. I understand that. Okay. But I also still think that she didn't have the depth to get to where they wanted her to go with Adriana to figure this shit out. That's why they killed it.
Yeah. Artie and Tony, they're golfing. Jack Masseron pulls up. Obviously, we know him from season 2. He tells Tony about someone hijacking the tiles. So this is how Tony gets the info.
Jehovah's Witnesses are more interesting, he said.
Boy, what did you think about Artie's form, Spike Lee, as a fellow golfer?
Not great.
Okay.
Terrible form, crunched over too much. He ain't put enough head into his putt as far as trying to make it get there. But yeah, it was terrible.
You want to bring up the? You want to bring up the?
I was going to let you. I was going to throw it to you. I was going to throw it to you. Go, man, Rich.
You did a great job of saying, even with his 2 limited scenes, Artie is going through it, and I feel this. And I know we joke all the time, man. Me and Spike the same person, so I know Spike feels this. When you get the opportunity to just throw a little jab, you know what I'm saying? Are you coming over? You
didn't like the
you didn't like the stracciatella, huh? Yeah, you came in my restaurant. I met you. You didn't like the problem with the stracciatella, right? And then just go back to your business. It's the turnaround, the way he shook his hand and then kind of just went back. Yeah, man, fuck you, dude.
I knew we would relate to that. We was talking about the same thing early in this episode. Like Artie was like, "Man, fuck you. I remember you."
I did something like this at my job, man. I'll never forget. This guy got promoted. I don't know him. I didn't know him. But I'm just one of those people. He got promoted to do the same position I was doing. So I get on Teams, write a message, hey, congratulations, welcome to the team. Let me know if you need anything. Motherfucker read it and didn't say shit. I got the dots. I got the bubbles. Like somebody type it and never got sent.
Hey, why was you being fake?
About 2 weeks later, I met him in the office. Oh, what's up, man? How you doing? Nice to meet you. I wrote you a message and you left me on red, and I walked right away like Tony, like Artie. I said that just to him.
With the arms up.
Yeah, I said it just like to him. But it was
like, okay.
But just like Artie did it wasn't in a like I'm angry or upset about it. It's just I want you to know that I know. I remember that shit.
I need you to know.
I know, nigga.
Yeah, it's just one of those things I couldn't, certain things you just can't let slide. Like, okay, it's not a big enough deal to say something, but when I see you, I'm gonna let you know. Bro, don't leave me on red, especially when I go out my way to give you some congrats or whatever, offer some kind of guidance. Like, nah, fuck you, dude.
Bro, you got a lot of baskets of, okay, I can't wait. You see, like you got a lot of baskets of like buried, like, okay, yeah,
because they're not deep, but they need to be acknowledged.
But yeah, but when that time comes, I pull out that basket.
Because here's the thing. I'm not even really the type of nigga that does that. Like, I'm not even I'll catch you when I see you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, nice meeting you type shit. For me to actually go out of my way to send a message, like, that's just something I don't even really do. So the fact that I did it and you treat me like, okay, I got you. I'm not gonna say nothing now because it doesn't affect
to see these things because you two guys.
My boy Tyler got there's a supervisor, man. He got weak. He pulled me to the side later. He said, "That's the funniest thing I've seen." Because I didn't do it maliciously. It was just there's something about a certain type of petty where you don't even want nothing. I just want you to know that I know.
I know.
And that's it.
I want you to understand that I'm on the same field that you is.
I'm not going to bring this up again. Yes. It's not going to be no running joke. I just want you to know that I'm not the type of nigga that's going to let that shit slide without at least acknowledging it, bro. So you think I am. You got me fucked up.
What you thought? Like, I've been using that a lot. Oh, what you thought? Oh, okay.
Yeah, what you thought? What you thought this was, man?
It's almost up there with you got to be stronger than that.
Yeah. And it's also, listen, another message never got left on red. You feel me?
Yeah,
that's true.
From that point on, like I know what I'm
because I said it once. Now you playing with me.
Now you know who I'm dealing with. Now you know who you're dealing with.
Yeah, now you just can't leave.
Yeah. But so I feel Artie. That's why I love this scene so much because, like I said, I think me and Spike got that in our personality. Bro.
Yeah,
like,
that's why I'm like now I'm starting to understand y'all a little bit more. I'm like, okay, so that's why I find a lot of humor in these moments where y'all get out of y'all.
That's always a principle.
Y'all normal comfort zone to like, it's like y'all have like this macho moxie about you. So when somebody moves moves y'all in a certain emotion that make you say, okay, hold up, put the moxie to the side. I gotta let you know what's up. Just for this moment.
Macho
I
Moxie
love
is
those
crazy.
moments with y'all.
Macho Moxie is nuts.
It's just like you're not about to play with me, bro. Like I'm some regular is
like
the
some
wrong word to you.
Yeah, poo-put. Like somebody, just like, somebody not to be worried about.
You're not about to. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's the big. That's like I said, highest.
That's the highest offense for me, for you to feel like, oh, I'm finna deal with you like you some poo-put. Like, nah, bro.
And like I said, man, it's not even the crazy. It's not. There's no anger in it at all. Like I'm not even angry about it. It's just more so like
I'm having fun. This is fun.
Oh, you don't.
I'm about to show you. I'm 1,000,000% about to show you.
I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
Let's
do it. Let's do this.
It's like that James Franco. Oh, this is your first time.
Yeah. Like, okay, cool. Let me show you how this go.
Oh, you're the investigator reporter. Like, for sure. But yeah, Chris pulls up. And
right.
Oh man, this because I'm gonna spoil a little bit, but because there's so many classic moments, it kind of changed my ranking scale. But we'll get there at the end of the episode because there's so many of classic moments this episode, and this is one of them. Chris pulls up, Patsy got the ice cream. He slaps the ice cream right out of his hands. Oh my!
Immediate
gosh.
fight. That's an immediate fight.
Immediate
facts. Ain't even no talking about this.
Ain't no talking. Like, I don't know if Michael Imperioli, because like there's a look that he has at the end, almost look like his mouth was bleeding a little bit. I don't know if he was so in the zone that he might have bit his tongue or something, but it like it was blood in his mouth a little bit. I don't know. It just, that's how it looked. And he pulled the strap out on him. Like, you don't pull the strap out on the maid guy, but Patsy is old school. He pulls out a pole and he spits on him. It's like, bro, what you want to do?
And Patsy made it worse, man, because ain't that worse when you already mad? That motherfucker Patsy, oh, look what the cat drug is. Like, nigga, I'm about to wreck your shit, bro.
Yeah, and don't you think think that I forgot about you sniffing my fiance's panties. That wasn't me.
That wasn't me, jerk.
That's how you know he getting high. You don't even remember that was Patsy sniffing Adriana's panties. But this is the thing that I have a strong issue with. All right, David Chase and all you niggas, and I love this show, and this is why we review it, but all y'all had to have a black worker to say, hey, I'm calling the police. Oh, yeah, you calling the police? And Patsy clocks him with a beam or a pole or whatever you want to call it. This, for one, I got two gripes. One, this is by far the most inaccurate behavior from a black person. We're not calling the police at all. We try to keep our job. So that's the first thing. This is not accurate. Two, why couldn't you have gotten an Italian or an Irish or anybody else that would fit the bill of I'm calling the police? I just feel like there's this weird underlying thing. We laugh at the racist stuff, but it's starting to feel like, all right, what are you people doing? Like, y'all are going out y'all way because y'all already did this in season 1 when it's like, we want our jobs. And then y'all had all the Italian mobsters come and beat all the black people up. All right, now take it easy, dude. Like, what are we doing? That's all I'm saying. Like,
so this is what me and Rich was talking about earlier with the Ralph Bunch shit, right? Mm-hmm. So
what?
When Patsy goes over to the dude, like, because remember, dude was on some. First he said stop, and then he said, "I'm gonna call the police."
And he's like, "You're some real Ralph Bunch."
Where you fucking Ralph Bunch? Who the fuck are you, Ralph Bunch over here? Do you know who Ralph Bunch is, Mo?
No, educate me.
That's the thing. You tell him who Ralph Bunch is.
He's a diplomat, and obviously, you know what diplomats do? They keep the peace, man. It's part of their shit. So it made perfect sense. He's like he won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1950. Like, just wanted, and of course he's a black dude, so that made it even funnier. He's like, fucking Ralph Bunch over here and just smack this shit, bruh. Smack this shit.
But do y'all feel what I'm coming from though? Like,
absolutely, because
doesn't it feel like it's out of the way?
Mind our business, especially with. And here's the biggest thing too: if you're gonna have him call the cops, get rid of all the other extras,
right?
Because you can't convince me that out of everybody here that the brother's over here the first one calling the cops.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
That's what made it so funny though. when me and you,
Facts.
Rich, were talking about earlier, alluding to this scene, talking about the Ralph Hunt situation. Like, this dude is a, for lack of a better word, extraordinary Negro. When he like
Mr.
Ralph
Nigga.
Bunch, yeah, Ralph Bunch is Mr. Nigga. He's like,
Straight
oh,
up.
I'm calling the police. I'm doing all the extra shit that no other body, no other black person wouldn't do. I'm gonna do
Damn.
it, and I'm gonna win a Nobel Peace Prize behind it. That's what
Ralph
made this shit so funny. And even
Ralph
if
Ralph Bunch is 1,000% calling the police.
Bruh, Ralph Bunch is the nigga that's gonna stand right there and fill out the police report with every organization that wants to know what happened. And that's what made it so funny. And like, even when you say that, Mo, like, no, you're right. None of us regular niggas are gonna do that. But Ralph Bunch is the nigga that's gonna do that. He's gonna be able to be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna give you all the information to make sure you solve this crime. And
Yeah, he's
me and Rich were talking about this earlier. That's what made it so funny when I looked up the name of Ralph Bunch and all the things that were attributed to his name. Yes, Mo, you're right. Most black people ain't doing this,
Yeah,
but
bro. It's
most
just
black
not our
people ain't
behavior.
Ralph Bunch. Most black, and
Right.
that's what made it so funny, and what makes this writing in this episode, or excuse me, this series so good as far as when they write this stuff out. When he say, "Who are you, Ralph Bunch over here?" and you look up who Ralph Bunch is, that's the extra nigga.
Right.
That ain't the nigga like me, you, and Rich is gonna be like, okay, this happened to work today, bro. Like, I'm gonna
Ain't
tell my
nothing to do with
wife
me.
about it, and that's the end of it. Ralph Bunch is the nigga that's gonna be like, I'm trying to take this shit all the way to the Supreme Court and
Right.
make sure that y'all change laws behind this. That was hilarious, bro.
It
This
is,
what me
but
and
on
Rich
the
were
side,
talking
it's,
about earlier.
it almost feel like why are you getting the humor off? It's like, oh, you trying to justify, like, oh, he's a Ralph Bunch type nigga. Like, no, I'm not giving you no bail, bro. Like, I ain't been doing that with none of these, but this is one of the moments like, oh, you just go out your way. You already whooped a group of niggas in
It's
season one.
funny,
Now you
though.
just gonna whoop one nigga. Like, come on,
It's
bro.
funny that he even knows who Ralph Bunch is, bro.
Well, that's the writing. They wrote it in there to kind of feel like, oh, he's the Mr. Nigga like character. Oh, he gonna like, all right, like take it easy. Like y'all overdoing it. Like, oh, we gonna
It's
keep making black people the butt of the joke. Like, all right, that's
not,
enough of that
but
shit.
but that's what, and I feel you everything you
You know what I
said,
mean?
Mo. But
All right,
Right,
bro.
but
that's
it's funny
also what
though,
makes it
bro.
funny
Nah,
because
that ain't funny,
Ralph
bro.
Bunch, nah, for real,
Yeah.
because
Ralph
Ralph
Bunch,
Bunch is
sure.
he did Ralph Bunch part because Ralph Bunch is going to give you to Spike's point. He's giving you that Ziggy Sabaka level of accuracy. When Ziggy was in that chair, he didn't say it. He didn't say please. He more so begged. Like, I want to make sure you get the whole story right, even the small details. And that's what makes it funny because that's the type of dude that would call the cops when he saw some shit like that going down. Where the rest of us would be like, bro, put your phone up.
Right.
Don't even get
Right.
involved. This ain't got shit to do with you. I never get involved in white on white crime. Hell nah.
Never that.
Have
That ain't
that.
got nothing to do with me.
All right, for the
And
sake
just
of
real important. I'm sorry, just real important, man. We talked about the old school shit. We don't play that game, bro. You ain't never seen no gangster pull his gun out just to pull it out.
that's right.
Like, Chris, what the fuck is you on?
He was bugging. It's a made guy. You can't do that anyway. Like, he's failing at the temporary capo. But I'm gonna run through these last few scenes because I think we're coming up close to 3 hours, and that's way too long for an episode. So I'm gonna run through these scenes. Y'all can drop in where y'all see fit. We get Meadow, Carm, and Tony. They're having this conversation. Carmela is going hard as she's been doing. And then Meadow does the, oh, hey, Mr. Mob guy. And then that's when Tony steps up and she's like, what do you mean? And he immediately checks her. She's caught off guard by it. And he telling her straight up, like, you think I didn't check Jackie Jr.? And he's been honest here. This is an honest moment. Adriana gets stopped by the police, and that's basically what we alluded to earlier, as far as they got something on her and they're going to pretty much need her to be a rat. Silvio comes over to Tony's. Ralph clips his toenail, his Janice. Meadow registers back to Columbia, and Tony and Carmela bathroom scene. So it's about 5 scenes right there. What are some key moments within those 5 scenes for y'all?
The most important moment from those 5 scenes for me is Tony and Sil. and still trying to understand, like, I get you may have a vision for Chris, but I still want to understand where the position that I play in all of that. And I do think it was a bad job in leadership by Tony as far as, hey, telling him this is the role you're going to play in the upcoming things that are happening with our organization. He didn't tell him that. So Seal had to figure that out. And in the midst of Seal figuring that out, the scene that we saw with them in the basement was him being like, oh, okay, I get it now. You're not trying to override me. You're not trying to knock me out the way. It's just this, whatever it is that you're doing is different from what I understand. And I needed you to tell me that. That was my favorite scene in the last part, which you talked about.
Mm.
Well said. I got to bring up the Tony Meadow. That's obviously one of those classic Sopranos, a YouTube scene, as I like to call them. One of those things you can just randomly pull up on YouTube just because it's that good.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, even going back to the point we said about Artie, sometimes you don't need to say shit, man. The way that Tony sits on that bowl and just that look of disgust, almost like with Ralphie's shoe. Like, how the fuck is you living right now? Like, I'm done with this. Like, you got to get this shit right. I can't believe this therapist told you to go to Europe. But most importantly, you really got the balls to say, listen to Mr. Mob Boss? Like, what you say? Like, Carmela said, Tom, shut up. Like, we about to nip this in the bud right now. Because for years, you've been doing this bullshit. For years, you've been trying to say stuff under your breath and be a little funny and make little comments. Nah, you got something. She said, what do you mean? What do I mean? What do you mean?
You mean that right?
Stop fucking playing with me. Like, for real, because you don't know the weight that this shit carry. Yeah, you moaning about Jackie, but I've known him longer than you have. You know what I'm saying? I saw him enter this world. Like, I didn't want that shit to go down the way you think it went down. Like, Jackie got fucked up. That shit's fucking with me too, even though I'm not outwardly showing it. I'm not moping about it. But all this mob boss shit, you better calm the fuck down. Like, this better be the last time this shit
be the last time. You asked me season 1, are you in the mafia? Like, I'm in a what? Like, you know
because
what I mean?
Now, because here's the thing.
Playing with me.
Because here's the thing. You want to keep sneaking around it and making look, all right, say something. Whatever you want to say right now, you say it right now. Leave that shit right now. Now you ain't got nothing to say. Shut the fuck up.
That part. Because, I mean, she's been keeping quiet about it anyway when people ask. The parts that, the scenes I want to highlight then, since y'all hit those two, Ralph clips his toenail and it hits Janice. And shrapnel, and he finds the humorous and she doesn't. And at that moment, her face resonates that I feel like what Tony said, like, you need to not mess with Ralph. Like, he ain't the one. And then the last scene, Tony and Carmela in the bathroom scene, he's like, you know, he was like, you know, he had his feelings. He was trying to compromise with Carmela. And she's like, it ain't your problem. Like, she blames me. And I didn't know what she was talking about. Like, maybe, what?
She blames me because I'm the type of person that marries somebody like Tony.
That's
exactly what it is.
And
like, my daughter don't respect me because she see how I'm living. Like, why would she take my advice?
She won't. All these times that I've taken out to try to explain to her why she should be doing this, she don't listen to me because of the position that I'm in, and that's married to Tony Soprano.
And she feels stuck. I don't even know how to get out of it. Like, that's why I'm the ride. That's why I'm in this so hard. She understands it. Meadow's smart enough to see that this is what it is, and I can't even call her out on it because it's true. I hate this shit. I hate the fact that I'm here.
Right, because remember she asked her about it in last season with at her dorm. She's like, I'm not even about to get into that. Like, Meadow's like, I ain't even touching that. But before we get out of here, we like to leave y'all with some rankings. So for this episode, season 4, episode 2, No Show, Spike Lee, what do you rank this episode?
This is a good earn.
Okay. Rich.
You know what's funny? The more you watch this episode, the higher it goes in rankings. Like, you can do a quick watch and be like, oh, this is just another envelope. Like, you just bullshitting doing something. Then you watch it again and realize how many great scene and like little subtle funny moments go on. Look at how much material we got out of this episode, man. I had no idea I was going to say this, but this is a made episode for me.
Wow.
It's a made episode for me. This is one that's very enjoyable just from the content.
Wow.
And we just get a lot of things that we see for the first time with the SEAL dynamic, with Chris being in some kind of leadership. Yeah, the SEAL part's the best. If the SEAL thing wasn't a part of this, it would be a good earner. And about 5 o'clock today, I thought this was going to be a good earner. But this conversation just let me know, like, oh, I really enjoyed this episode. And all the nuggets and all the little clues that we got and how it sets up more things. And this is only episode 2 of the season. You get what I'm saying? So this is made for me.
It's crazy. I think the episodes that I feel like we don't enjoy as much be the ones we get the longer episode out, the longer,
because it's not exciting, but
but we find funny humor in it. But
more stuff in it.
Yeah, first watch. I mean, all the way through. This was the first half of it, just another envelope. But there were so many moments. I was trying to say something positive. What? Why now? You becoming strange in your older age. It was so many moments, like classic moments that I have edited and chopped up videos just off this one episode. I'm like, oh, this can't be just another envelope. It got to be at least a good earner because there's too many moments in this episode of your typical Soprano Instagram pages. You're going to see these, so it's definitely a good earner for me. Spike Lee, who gets a good earner chain for this season.
A good earner chain. I got to give it to Patsy.
Okay.
Even though I don't fuck with him that much, Patsy was on his P's and Q's and trying to make sure that everything went right with Paulie going away and fighting off the Christopher Surge taking his spot. And I think he still held it now.
Rich, what say you?
Patsy,
good earning chain.
100%.
Patsy?
100%. Patsy, man. It started with it won't be cinematic with Gloria. And he just kind of Patsy's if you take all the characters that don't really have a plot, who are just around to kind of make up the rest of this thing of theirs, I think Patsy's probably my favorite.
Yeah, for me too. He's a great come off the bench. To me, he's like a 6-man. Like he could be in the running for a 6-man. Like he'll come off and he'll give you a strong 15. For me, it's Christopher. He got to do whatever he wanted to do. Like he's trying to openly create a threesome with his girl, and it went left. He talked his way out of it and got his girl to break the friendship. Who does that? Christopher Moltisanti. He's a wild boy. So he gets a good earner.
Hey, man, it's just crazy because you can really pull that shit off on Aid.
And then the fact that it's Aid as well.
Yeah.
Spike Lee, who gets the Broken Balls Award for this episode.
We might sweep this one.
This might be a sweep. Who knows? I'm gonna tell you based on his.
Broken Balls Award for this episode. I'm going with Paulie.
Okay,
Paulie getting third party information, not knowing really what was said about the 95-pound mold on Jenny on Jenny Sack, and then him, of course, as we know, in future episodes, using that information that he was given and changing the directory of the episodes and what was going on. But I'm going Paulie.
That's a good pick. What about you, Rich? You get the Broken Balls.
Low hanging fruit, man. Adriana.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Adriana, man. Chickens coming home to roost.
Adriana. You threw me off there. I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember. I had
my second choice for Broken Balls would be the basketball scene. Just that whole scene.
Oh, yeah.
That shit. Us as viewers get the broken balls for having to watch that shit.
That was bullshit. Yes, I agree with you. That was
us as viewers get the broken balls for that scene alone. We had to watch it.
You know what? I don't think this is my original pick, but I'm gonna go here. I gotta go Patsy, man. You got Lil Homie by the Lil Homie. All right, and then you got passed over by the Lil Homie. Like, even though it ain't your fault, it's politics, it's fake, you know. You got a little homie about it. He slapped the ice cream out your hand, everything, put a strap on you. Like he's a little nigga. Like, you can't let him do that to you, bro. You OG. Like, and lastly, Spike Lee, what's your favorite moment? A lot of great moments this episode, though.
Easily when Tony found Ralphie shit in his mom's house, and it found out the Ralphie was fucking Janice. Grabbing his shoes, doing the whole like, I can't believe I'm touching this nigga shit. Yeah, all that shit. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Rich? What's your favorite moment? I know it's a lot of here.
I got a lot of them, man. I got a lot of them, but I think I have to go with damn, this is tough.
It is. It really is, though.
I gotta go with the failed threesome.
Dang, that was gonna be mine, bro.
I gotta go with the failed threesome.
I'm trying to say something positive.
I want to, yeah, just it reminds me to in a different degree of the Jon Favreau scene doing the coke.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Chris unhinged and not seeing that he's unhinged and really trying to justify his bullshit. There's just something that Michael Imperioli brings out. Right. The Meadow Tony scene is incredible. The Tony Sills scenes are incredible. I really enjoy him, but there's something about this that Chris, the way he puts his arms over both of them, he really thinks this shit about to go.
Yeah, he definitely did. He was for sure locked in.
That's right.
He was in that room saying, I don't care what the fuck, but this shit, the attempt is gonna be had.
I gotta go for it. It's us three in the back, bro. I mean, what we doing? Yeah. Okay, I remember now. I recant my broken balls, not Patsy, Danielle, Agent Danielle. I got to go with her. That's what it was. Just because, you know, all the things I spoke of. But my favorite moment is going to be obviously Tony and Meadow. What do you mean? Now, what do you mean? Like that whole like sequence is like who you talking to? Like let's clear this whole thing up. Like that's absolutely my favorite moment of this episode. Sorry, I'm just putting this in here, Jake. All right, and that is our episode. Y'all can hit us up, GoodEarnerPod_Sopranos on Instagram. We accept DMs and we respond back. Y'all can also email us, goodearnerpod@gmail.com. We're on YouTube. Leave some comments, subscribe, like, all of those wonderful things. Tell your friend to tell another friend that this is the best Soprano podcast that is out there. I truly believe that. If y'all want to check us out in other podcasts that Spike Lee is involved in, that Rich is involved in, that I am involved in, y'all can look in our description on the podcast as well as the YouTube channel if you want to find those things out. We are available in many places. We thank y'all for tuning in. And remember, don't forget about it.